Chapter 390. As a cultivator, she could naturally tell how deep Lin Xian's poison was, and how strong it was. How long could he live if he became like this in such a short period of time? Little Meow Meow, Lin Xian called out again. Whoa, I told you not to hit me. I told you not to hit me. But you still hit me. Meow Xiao Meow broke down and cried, burying her head in Lin Xian's arms. Because, only I can touch your leg, Lin Xian said weakly. You're still talking, don't talk anymore. It'll be fine, it'll be fine. Meow Xiao Meow raised her head and wiped her tears. Her crying made her look very pitiful. Lin Xian shook his head slightly. My condition? I know. I'm afraid I can't hold on, and have to go back for treatment. Wah! Hearing Lin Xian's words, Meow Xiao Meow broke down and cried again. You won't. You're so bad. A bad person can live for 1,000 years. You won't die. Meow Xiao Meow shook her head, tears flowing down her cheeks. Lin Xian slowly raised his hand. Meow Xiao Meow quickly grabbed Lin Xian's hand. Little Meow Meow, what I said to you before is true. Meow Xiao Meow's tears fell uncontrollably. What did he say before? Confess? Don't talk anymore. Talking will speed up the spread of the poison. Meow Xiao Meow was helpless and in despair. She had no way to help Lin Xian detoxify the poison. She felt very guilty, very uncomfortable. Lin Xian came to the beast domain for her, and went to kill the 1,000 poisons Toad King to avenge her. If Lin Xian died, Meow Xiao Meow really didn't know what meaning she had left. She also didn't know how to explain to Lin Xian's sister, and Lin Xian's friends. She couldn't bear to. She couldn't bear to. It was as if her incomparably loved one was leaving. No. I have to say it. Lin Xian's voice became even weaker. Meow Xiao Meow tried to wipe away her tears, but they still fell uncontrollably. If I were to confess to you again, would you agree? Hearing Lin Xian's words, Meow Xiao Meow started crying again. She tried to hold it in, but she couldn't. Idiot. Big idiot. We'll talk about it when you're better. Meow Xiao Meow hugged Lin Xian, her little head buried in his chest as she let out a frightened and aggrieved cry. In other words, if I'm fine, you can be my girlfriend, right? Lin Xian asked. Amen, you'll definitely be fine. Meow Xiao Meow said with a sobbing tone. Ding! Deceiving a big sister, bad plot, scumbag value plus 500,000. When Lin Xian heard the system notification, he immediately broke the attack. That's right, he was poisoned. The moment he was poisoned, Lin Xian panicked. He was really panicking. After all, this was a mysterious Heaven Realm 6-star poison, and the toad was the leader of the 5 poisons. Although it definitely wasn't the toad, since there were such rumors, it proved that its poison was very powerful. But in the next second, when Lin Xian used the poison in his body to resist the poison, Lin Xian discovered that the 2 poisons were compatible. What did this mean? It meant that Lin Xian's poison could refine the toad's poison, and make it a part of his own poison, which would strengthen his poison. So Lin Xian didn't panic. As long as he circulated his poison, the toad's poison would be absorbed. At the same time, Lin Xian thought of an extremely wretched scheme. If it succeeded, he would definitely be able to take Meow Xiao Meow down. That's right, pretend to be heavily injured. See, he succeeded just like that. Meow Xiao Meow agreed. As long as Lin Xian was fine, as long as he was alive, she would agree to be Lin Xian's girlfriend. This scheme was indeed wretched and despicable, and was in line with the actions of a scumbag. But Lin Xian had no other choice. Although it was indeed a little shameless, Lin Xian had already been shameless so many times, so one more time wouldn't make a difference. Getting a girl was more important. In other words, he was silently walking further and further down the path of being a scumbag. Really? Lin Xian confirmed as a sly grin appeared on his face. Meow Xiao Meow inexplicably felt that Lin Xian's tone wasn't right, as if he was fine. She looked at Lin Xian with teary eyes, and Lin Xian quickly returned to his weak appearance. And I promise you, you must hold on. Sister Linging will definitely be here soon. I'll call her. Meow Xiao Meow frantically took out her phone. Wait, Lin Xian suddenly said. Meow Xiao Meow wiped her tears, and looked at Lin Xian. I feel that the poison in my body can refine the poison of the 1,000 poisons Toad King. Let me try, maybe I can survive. Meow Xiao Meow revealed a surprised expression. Hurry up and try. She felt that if Lin Xian didn't try, he really wouldn't be able to hold on until Ling Ying arrived. Help me sit up. He had to act until the end, or he would expose himself, and Meow Xiao Meow would be angry. Normally, she would be angry. She was so worried, but it turned out that he was lying to her. Of course she would be angry. Meow Xiao Meow then helped the weak Lin Xian up, and Lin Xian sat down to meditate. Stay away from me, Lin Xian. Oh! Meow Xiao Meow then let go of Lin Xian, and moved a few meters away from him. Then, the poison around Lin Xian's body began to refine the poison of the 1,000 poisons Toad King. Meow Xiao Meow sat there and stared at Lin Xian, wiping her tears. Then, her beautiful eyes revealed surprise, because she saw that Lin Xian's dark lips, face, and skin were slowly fading to a normal color. What did this mean? It meant that the poison was dissipating. About 3 minutes later, Lin Xian's complexion completely returned to normal. Phew! Lin Xian exhaled a mouthful of turbid air, and at the same time, retracted the poison around him. I'm fine. Lin Xian then turned to look at Meow Xiao Meow, and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Meow Xiao Meow was so surprised that she almost cried, and then nodded vigorously. Hug! Lin Xian smiled and reached out his hand. No. Meow Xiao Meow turned her head and wiped her tears. Lin Xian stood up. Remember what you said just now. Lin Xian walked in front of Meow Xiao Meow, and gently wiped her tears again. To be honest, he felt a little sorry for her. Wah! How could he be such a jerk? F***ck. What? Meow Xiao Meow looked at Lin Xian. Just now, she was worried and scared, so she agreed to Lin Xian without thinking. That is, if I'm fine, you have to agree to be my girlfriend. You want to go back on your word? Meow Xiao Meow's face suddenly turned red. No. Meow Xiao Meow turned her head to the side and said shyly. So you agreed? No. I agreed in a hurry. Meow Xiao Meow mumbled. Wah! You didn't keep your word. I'd rather die. Lin Xian looked like he was heartbroken. No. Meow Xiao Meow hurriedly explained. For the sake of your promise, I insisted on not fainting, insisted on wanting to live, insisted on finding a way to get rid of the poison. And when I finally got rid of the poison, you actually wanted to go back on your word. Really, there's still poison left on the side, right? I don't want to live anymore. Goodbye, Meow Xiao Meow, liar meow. Chapter 391. When Meow Xiao Meow heard Lin Xian's words, she immediately felt bad. Of course it was towards her. Yes, she had already promised Lin Xian. Was it really not good to go back on her words now? However, she did not want to reject Lin Xian. It was just that as a girl, she had to reject him tactfully. No, I didn't reject you. Meow Xiao Meow mumbled softly. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. He looked as if he had succeeded in his scheme, but it disappeared in a flash. Then you didn't lie to me? No. Meow Xiao Meow lowered her head and blushed. Anyway, she quite liked Lin Xian. She might as well let him have it. After all, she had already promised him. Then you agreed to be my girlfriend? Lin Xian's lips curled up, and he quickly moved in front of Meow Xiao Meow. Meow Xiao Meow lowered her head and nodded lightly. He did not know why, but he felt that taking Meow Xiao Meow gave him a different feeling. He did not know what this feeling was. You really agreed? Lin Xian confirmed again, and reached out to pinch Meow Xiao Meow's soft cheeks. Yes. How many times do you want me to say it? Meow Xiao Meow raised her head and pouted with a red face. Then give me a kiss. Lin Xian grinned. Go, pervert. Meow Xiao Meow rolled her eyes at Lin Xian cutely. However, there was a tinge of shyness in her eyes. It was not the same before. Lin Xian chuckled. She was such a young girl, and he was just joking around. He didn't want to harm her. Lin Xian then pulled Meow Xiao Meow's soft and delicate hand. It was especially white and tender. Meow Xiao Meow shyly tried to pull her hand back. However, after thinking about it, she was Lin Xian's girlfriend. It was only right for him to hold her hand. Meow Xiao Meow did not pull her hand back. Ding! Congratulations on completing the mission. Confess to a big sister. You have been rewarded with scumbag points plus 1 million. The mission reward. The world is carefree has been released. Ding! World Carefree is expected to learn it in 1 hour. Please wait. Ding. Detected that the host is cheating on 4 women. This is the behavior of a scumbag. Scumbag value plus 5 million. Ding. Host tricked a little lowly. What a scumbag. Scumbag value plus 5 million. Ding. Host has leveled up to advanced scumbag man. Lin Xian. F***ck. And it was extremely trashy. Wasn't it all because of this damned system? Lin Xian had a headache. There were already 4 people at the mahjong table. If the 4 of them were to meet, he would win the game. What should he do? Now it was indeed satisfying. But what about the future? Could they accept each other? That's impossible. This isn't ancient times. But what was satisfying was that Miao Xiaomiao's mission gave Lin Xian 20 million scumbag points. Including the previous one, it was now 57 million. Since it reached 50 million scumbag points, Lin Xian was not stingy anymore. After all, this little girl was now his little girlfriend. He couldn't treat her badly, right? Ding! You have exchanged for Heavenly Star Fruit. Cost 4,000,000. 4 million scumbag points was nothing compared to what Miao Xiaomiao got. Little girl, give me a kiss and I'll give you something good. Lin Xian rubbed Miao Xiaomiao's hair and said with a smile. No. Miao Xiaomiao turned her head away. Although she had confirmed their relationship, her pride and shyness didn't allow her to do so. Not only her, even Ling Ying was the same. Lin Xian had spent a lot of effort to get her. Moreover, if he didn't get to know her better, it would be even harder to get her. Lin Xian did not give up. No matter what, he couldn't lose out, right? Then Lin Xian pointed at his cheek and said, You don't need to kiss my mouth, just my face. No. Miao Xiaomiao shyly turned around. Aya. Then I don't know who to give this good thing that can let you directly reach the mysterious heaven realm. Lin Xian weighed the heavenly star fruit in his hand. Miao Xiaomiao's big eyes sparkled. What did Lin Xian say? It can let me reach the mysterious heaven realm right now. How is that possible? Aren't cultivators only able to increase their cultivation by killing monsters? However, after thinking about it, he realized that Lin Xian had indeed come up with a lot of good things that people thought were fantastical yet effective. Wasn't that the attribute increasing potion that he had given Yi previously an example? Before that, no one knew that attributes could be increased through potions. Perhaps Lin Xian was telling the truth. After all, in Miao Xiaomiao's eyes, Lin Xian was indeed very mysterious and powerful. Tisk bragging, Miao Xiaomiao said proudly, but she was obviously moved. Why would I lie to you? Here. Lin Xian handed the heavenly star fruit to Miao Xiaomiao. She quickly reached out to take it, but Lin Xian dodged. You haven't kissed me yet, I'm not giving it. Lin Xian laughed. You're lying. This is probably an ordinary fruit that you picked on the road. Miao Xiaomiao said in disbelief when she saw the fruit in Lin Xian's hand. What's in it for me to lie to you? Just for you to kiss me on the cheek? You have to know that you're my girlfriend now. So we'll have to kiss sooner or later. I just want to give this good thing to you. You're not lying to me? Miao Xiaomiao looked at the heavenly star fruit in Lin Xian's hand, then looked at Lin Xian and asked suspiciously. Why would I lie to you? When have I ever lied to you? Humph. Too much. Lin Xian. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose awkwardly. She seemed to be right. Hurry up, let me tell you. I also gave this fruit to Han Chuxue. She used this fruit to advance to the mysterious heaven realm. Lin Xian said. You gave it to other girls? Miao Xiaomiao questioned. Lin Xian. F***ck. Am I an idiot? But this little girl is already used to being my girlfriend. So she's starting to teach me these things? Seems a little interesting. She's my friend. And you should have heard about this from Ling Ying. I did it to help her get out of the shadows. Oh, okay. Miao Xiaomiao nodded her little head slightly. Can we kiss now? I'll give it to you if you kiss me. If it's fake, I'll never kiss you again in this life. And you can forget about touching me. I'll ignore you. Humph. Miao Xiaomiao said proudly and shyly. Come, come, come. Lin Xian smiled and moved his face closer. Miao Xiaomiao's little heart was beating too fast. She never thought that one day she would take the initiative to kiss a boy. But why did she feel like she was being cheated? She didn't understand, but she felt like she was being cheated. But she didn't have any evidence, and she didn't dare to ask. Sob, sob, sob. Chapter 392. Miao Xiao Miao looked at Lin Xian's shameless face and felt embarrassed and unhappy. She, the great Miao Xiao Miao, was actually taken down by this big hooligan. Humph. Then Miao Xiao Miao slowly closed her eyes. It's just a kiss, what's the big deal? It's not even a kiss on the lips, just take it as kissing a pig's butt. Miao Xiao Miao's long eyelashes trembled slightly, proving that her heart was not calm at all. These beautiful girls were all natural beauties. Basically, they all had long eyelashes. It really looked like the finishing touch. Those long eyelashes, especially when they trembled slightly, were especially alluring. Miao Xiao Miao slowly moved forward. According to Lin Xian's temperament, he should have turned his head away, and Miao Xiao Miao would have kissed him on the lips with her eyes closed. But Lin Xian did not want to harm this girl. After all, she was only 14 years old. Just a kiss on the face was enough. He really felt that he was a warm guy. Miao Xiao Miao's lips were a little cold, but very soft, especially soft. No wonder she was so young, she was still young. Then, Miao Xiao Miao quickly took a step back and hurriedly combed her bangs to hide her panic. Okay, give it to me. Then, Miao Xiao Miao stretched out her hand to Lin Xian. But her face was red and she was too cute. Here, here. Lin Xian smiled and placed the Tianxing fruit in Miao Xiao Miao's hand. The next heavenly star fruit would be worth 8 million, and he still had to prepare one for Ling Ying. So if he used it again, it would be 16 million. Therefore, even though Lin Xian seemed to have accumulated 53 million renminbi worth of scumbag value, it really wasn't much. Miao Xiao Miao looked at the Tianxing fruit in her hand curiously. She had never seen this fruit before, but she did not feel that there was anything special about it. Can it really reach the mysterious heaven realm? On Sky Blue Planet, we can only raise our realm by killing monsters. Miao Xiao Miao still felt that it was too far-fetched. Then, do you think that the potion I gave Yi before that can increase her attributes is a fantasy? Miao Xiao Miao nodded. Although she wasn't present, she had heard about it. It was indeed a fantasy, but it had come true. Eat it now. You'll know once you eat it. Lin Xian smiled and reached out his claws towards Miao Xiao Miao's perky butt. Miao Xiao Miao. Get lost. Pervert. Die. Miao Xiao Miao quickly ran away. This bastard. Even if they were boyfriend and girlfriend now, she was still a child. This bastard already had ideas about her. Damn it. Lin Xian smiled and said nothing. It was just teasing her. He couldn't really do anything. For example, even if Miao Xiao Miao asked Lin Xian to f***ck her, Lin Xian wouldn't touch her. Although he was a man and Miao Xiao Miao was a very beautiful little loli, it was too sinful. Miao Xiao Miao blushed and took a small bite of the heavenly star fruit. Whether she believed it or not was just a guess. She would know once she ate it. Of course, although Miao Xiao Miao didn't like Lin Xian, she still believed in Lin Xian. What surprised Miao Xiao Miao was that the fruit was like jelly in her mouth. In the next second, the jelly seemed to melt into water. It was so smooth that she couldn't even swallow it. The water flowed down her throat and into her body. Amazing! Miao Xiao Miao gasped in surprise. Although she didn't feel like she had improved much with just one bite, the special texture was enough to surprise her. There's no effect. Miao Xiao Miao looked at Lin Xian and said, Eat it. Lin Xian. Oh. Then Miao Xiao Miao obediently ate the entire heavenly star fruit. After eating it, Miao Xiao Miao felt a surge of energy quickly condensing in her body and spreading to every corner of her body. Under Lin Xian's gaze, Miao Xiao Miao's feet formed a field of energy. The dust and leaves on the ground were swept up and danced around her. Shwa! A few seconds later the energy spread out. Lin Xian released his power to block the oncoming impact, and the leaves that were rushing over like bullets. Wow! Then Miao Xiao Miao's excited cry came from the front. Lin Xian's lips curled up slightly. Mystic Heaven Realm. I'm at the Mystic Heaven Realm. Miao Xiao Miao was so happy that she almost jumped up in joy. Although she was smart, proud, and mature, she was still just a 14-year-old little girl. The Xian Heaven Realm was the realm that she had always dreamed of. Although she could reach a higher realm with her ability, A 14-year-old one-star Xian Heaven Realm was really too exaggerated. Han Qixue was only at the Mystic Heaven Realm 1 star. But how should she put it? Even if you were 5 years old, you could be at the Mystic Heaven Realm 1 star. Reaching a certain realm in the same year didn't mean anything. You couldn't be called a genius, because you only needed the experience of monsters to level up. The most important thing was your combat strength and attributes. In other places, the younger you were, the higher your realm. That represented talent, because it was purely based on cultivation. But here it was different. Here you could level up by killing monsters. That didn't mean anything. So, generally speaking, judging whether a person was a genius or not was not based on their realm, but their combat strength and attributes. Seeing Miao Xiaomiao's happy expression, Lin Xian was also happy from the bottom of his heart. Amazing, right? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Miao Xiaomiao ran in front of Lin Xian like the wind, and even wanted to hug Lin Xian. But just as she was about to reach out, she quickly stopped and said shyly, "Thank you." Lin Xian smiled and scratched her delicate little nose. "You're still saying thank you to me. Grow up quickly and warm my bed for me. That's the best thank you." "Go to hell," Miao Xiaomiao said angrily. Also, Miao Xiaomiao said seriously, "Whether I grow up or not, it's not up to me. It's up to time. What I mean is, you don't have to be old, but you have to be old in the right places." Lin Xian said with a smile. Miao Xiaomiao tilted her head and thought carefully. Then she understood what Lin Xian meant. Scram! Damn pervert! Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh. Miao Xiaomiao silently lowered her head and looked at a certain place. She muttered in her heart, "Is it really that small? Alright. You've also reached the Mystic Heaven Realm. With your wind and fire dual attributes, you should be able to get into the top 10 in the Sky Martial Tournament, right?" Lin Xian asked with a smile. Miao Xiaomiao shook her head. "It's difficult. Just you, Han Qixue, and Sister Lingying have taken up 3 spots. There's also Qin Xiaotian. The other 2 academies also have more than 10 Mystic Heaven Realm experts." Miao Xiaomiao was helpless. "But if your strength can keep up, you don't have to worry about this. They're strong, but why can't you be stronger than them? Since when is it your turn to teach me?" Miao Xiaomiao muttered. "Because I'm your boyfriend." Chapter 393. Miao Xiaomiao pouted. Why did it feel so awkward? She was still an innocent and cute little fairy, while Lin Xian was already an old man. So what if she was Lin Xian's little girlfriend? She couldn't let him take advantage of her. Even if he wanted to, he had to wait until she was older. Who told him to call her young? Okay. I'll take it that you're right, okay? Miao Xiaomiao rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Lin Xian grinned. Then let's kiss again. Go to hell, kiss your head. Pervert. You like to take advantage of girls. Am I wrong to take advantage of my little girlfriend? It's very reasonable. Miao Xiaomiao's head shook like a rattle drum. No. Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh in his heart. This girl was getting cuter and cuter. Right. Miao Xiaomiao suddenly thought of something and looked at Lin Xian seriously. What? Lin Xian scratched his head. Miao Xiaomiao thought for a moment, then said while playing with her fingers. Although I've been tricked by you, it depends on my mood. There are a few things we have to say first. First, you can't take advantage of me just because you're my boyfriend. I'm still young. If you take advantage of me, you're a pervert and will be sentenced. That won't do. I'm your boyfriend and you're my girlfriend. Even if you're young, our relationship is still there. If I don't take advantage of you, then what's the difference between our status and before? Lin Xian quickly said. Although he didn't want to harm this little girl, he had to take advantage of her. Otherwise, wouldn't it be a loss? Hearing Lin Xian's words, although it was a little infuriating, it seemed to make some sense. Then, you'll have to get my permission first. Lin Xian smiled and nodded. Okay. Then Miao Xiaomiao continued playing with her fingers. Second, you're not allowed to tell anyone, especially everyone in the Wind Mercenary group. Not even Grandpa. Why? Did I embarrass you? Lin Xian awkwardly touched the tip of his nose. Yes. Lin Xian. Hey, even if it's you, can you not answer so quickly? I beg you, can you think for a bit? Lin Xian secretly rubbed his forehead. It's mainly because I don't want others to know that I'm only 14 years old. If they find out that I'm in a relationship at such a young age, Grandpa might tell Dad and Dad might hit me. Miao Xiaomiao pouted. Lin Xian was suddenly enlightened. It turned out to be Chanzi. This girl was afraid of her father. He was only 14 years old. That was puppy love. TSK, I'm so perverted. And third, you are not allowed to continue flirting with the other sisters. Lin Xian. I refuse the third point. Ah. Upon hearing Lin Xian's words, Miao Xiaomiao went crazy. Bastard. She was his girlfriend. Shouldn't he reject her right in front of her face? Lin Xian then said reasonably, think about it. You won't let me take advantage of you. And you won't let me do anything. You won't even let me kiss you. I'm a normal man. If I have a girlfriend like you and I don't have one, what should I do? Do you want me to suffocate to death? Miao Xiaomiao seriously considered Lin Xian's words. It seemed to make sense. Then what are you going to do? Miao Xiaomiao raised her head and looked at Lin Xian. That depends on what you can do. Miao Xiaomiao pouted and said, kiss my face? How is that enough? Then what else do you want? Miao Xiaomiao stomped her feet. Lin Xian smiled and said, all right. When I need you in the future, I'll look for you. Get lost. I won't agree to it. Miao Xiaomiao kicked a stone at Lin Xian and then sat on a rock beside her. Flames gathered in her palms, as if she was feeling the strength of her current strength. Lin Xian sat beside her and placed his leg on top of her slender legs. Help me knock on my leg. Miao Xiaomiao was speechless. How about I help you cremate it? Miao Xiaomiao gritted her teeth and placed the flame in her hand in front of Lin Xian. Come on. Miao Xiaomiao snorted proudly and then extinguished the flame. She then unhappily knocked on Lin Xian's leg with her small hands. This was the benefit of having a girlfriend. Even though she was still young, if Lin Xian's leg had been placed on Miao Xiaomiao's thigh in the past, she wouldn't have been able to pinch off 2 pounds of meat for Lin Xian. Although she was unhappy, she still helped Lin Xian knock on his leg. That's why there were still benefits in getting a girl. As for Carefree Under the Heavens, Lin Xian hadn't completely learned it yet. However, Carefree Under the Heavens was a Heaven-class 10-star skill. Let alone a Heaven-class 10-star skill. Lin Xian didn't even have a Heaven-class skill. He did have the Myriad Induction Heavenly Prison, but Lin Xian had never used it before. He really didn't know how strong this Heaven-class skill would be. Carefree Under the Heavens was a Heaven-class 10-star skill. That was close to a God-class skill. Lin Xian was also looking forward to seeing how strong it would be. After about 40 minutes, Lin Xian and Miao Xiaomiao heard the sound of car horns from afar. The two of them talked about a lot of things during this time. Lin Xian also tried to take advantage of her, and had some success. It's coming. Then Lin Xian released a bolt of lightning into the sky. Ling Ying saw a purple bolt of lightning in the sky while driving. She knew that it was released by Lin Xian and drove over. Family. Seeing Ling Ying get out of the car, Lin Xian ran over with his arms wide open. Miao Xiaomiao pouted angrily. He even said that he wouldn't go and hook up with other girls after having her as his girlfriend. This bastard went and asked for a hug from Ling Ying right in front of her, and took advantage of her. Bastard. A man's mouth was indeed a liar. He wanted to take advantage of other girls right in front of her, not to mention when she wasn't around. This was what a man was like. Miao Xiaomiao stomped her feet angrily. Ling Ying nimbly avoided Lin Xian's evil claws. Lin Xian wasn't unhappy that he didn't take advantage of Ling Ying. This was his big wife, the kind that could be F***ed. You came in your pajamas. Lin Xian looked at Ling Ying. What do you think? Ling Ying rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Her hair was still messy, but her looks were there. If she didn't have good looks, she wouldn't have come out so confidently. Thank you, Sister Ling Ying. Sorry for the trouble. Miao Xiaomiao walked over and thanked her. The two of them had been through the trip to Linfeng City, and had gone through life and death together. They could be considered friends who had gone through life and death together. Their relationship was still very good. They would also chat in private. Miao Xiaomiao knew that Lin Xian and Lingye were now living in Ling Ying's house. Chapter 394. To Miao Xiaomiao, she was quite envious of Ling Ying for being able to live with Lin Xian. Of course, she might suspect that there was a relationship between Lin Xian and Ling Ying, but it was only a suspicion. After all, Ling Ying was also very outstanding, so she might not necessarily like a bad guy like Lin Xian. However, Miao Xiaomiao felt that she had not interacted much with Lin Xian's sister, and their relationship was not very good. Moreover, she was Lin Xian's girlfriend now. Although she would not make it public, she really wanted to get along well with Lin Xian's sister and build a good relationship with her. Ling Ying looked at Miao Xiaomiao and smiled. It's fine. Your car was destroyed by demonic beasts. Miao Xiaomiao nodded. Yes, it was destroyed as soon as we got out of the car. Wah. Little Ying Ying, I asked you to come and you ignored me. Little Miao Miao just casually thanked you, and you said it was fine? Why do I feel like you're treating me differently? Am I still the person you love the most? You're a piece of sh*t, Lin Xian. She was a little naughty. It seemed that she was in need of some sun again, after not being taught a lesson for a few days. Just you wait. Lin Xian said fiercely. This was not the first time Ling Ying heard Lin Xian say, just you wait. Every time, she would be punished very badly. It's over, it's over, it's over. It's her period. Hurry up and come. Let's go. It's already very late, so there will be fewer demonic beasts. But when dawn comes, there will be a lot of demonic beasts. Demonic beasts had a habit. There would be more demonic beasts in the middle of the night. But this time, most of the demonic beasts would come out at around 10 p.m. to 2 p.m. to hunt for food. After 2 p.m., there would be fewer demonic beasts. But around 4 or 5 p.m., when dawn was about to break, the number of demonic beasts would reach a peak again. There was a saying, purple chi from the east. Purple chi could be understood as the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Martial artists who had the God's child system did not need it. But demonic beasts, or people from many years ago, like Bing Lingyue and the others, did not rely on the system to cultivate. It was purely through cultivation. Other than talent and hard work, they also needed heaven and earth's spiritual energy. The purple chi from the east was at that time. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth was the most abundant. It was the same for demonic beasts. They needed to cultivate to raise their cultivation levels. And many demonic beasts would come out cultivated at that time. That was the reason why there were so many demonic beasts at that time. But how should I put it? It might not be dangerous, because they were all cultivating at this time, not looking for food. So if they didn't want to attack, it would be fine even if you walked past them. However, demonic beasts basically have territorial awareness. As long as you appear, you will basically be attacked. Ling to you, and the to send them to drive to the home, to the to drive to the to drive to drive. Ya you, su and you. Li. Is little fairy at home? Lin Xian asked. Of course. Sister Lingye is always at home. Ling Ying looked at Lin Xian, curious as to why Lin Xian would ask that. Why don't we not go home tonight? Lin Xian, who was sitting in the front passenger seat, reached out and placed his hand on Ling Ying's leg. Ling Ying rolled his eyes at Lin Xian, started the car, and took Lin Xian's hand away. What? Did you bring your ID card? Ling Ying was speechless. Lin Xian had already said so much. Of course she knew. She was not a young and ignorant girl. Get lost. I'll kill you. Ling Ying took out a dagger and threatened Lin Xian. If you really can't do it in the car? Lin Xian smirked. Whoosh. Ling Ying angrily stepped on the accelerator and sped off. It was late at night, and there was basically no one on the road. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. We've tried it in the living room, the sofa, the bedroom, the balcony, the kitchen, and even on the table. But we haven't tried it in the car. It's just nice that there's no one around at this time. Ling Ying was speechless. Please go to hell, okay? She was secretly helpless. This bastard was getting more and more impudent. Hey, I'm serious. Did you bring your ID card? Lin Xian said. No, get lost. Ah, you're being naughty again. No, I have to show my prestige, do you understand? As a man, I'll make sure you don't dare to be impudent with me in the future. Lin Xian smirked. Ling Ying was speechless. I'm so sleepy. Let's go home. Ling Ying admitted defeat. This Lin Xian was sometimes as bored as a child. Still sleepy? Tell me, what did you do when I wasn't around? Ling Ying let go of the steering wheel and counted with his fingers. Let me think, how many men did I have sex with yesterday? 1, 2, 3, 8. You have 8 green hats, 50 yuan each. Give me 400 yuan. Ling Ying stretched out his hand to Lin Xian. Lin Xian was speechless. Shoo shoo shoo. Girls can't be serious. Lin Xian rolled his eyes at Ling Ying. What? You're allowed to hook up with other girls all day long. But I'm not allowed to hook up with other boys? Ling Ying also rolled his eyes at Lin Xian. When did I hook up with other girls? Don't slander me. I swear, you're the only one I've had sex with. If I'm lying to you, I'll have ulcers on my head and pus on my feet. I'll die an ugly death. Lin Xian didn't think there was anything wrong with that. There was also Linglong Shui. But was she a human? She was a demon. Ling Ying didn't believe Lin Xian's words. He was hanging around girls all day long. Even if he hadn't had sex with them, it could only be said that he hadn't succeeded yet. Ling Ying understood Lin Xian quite well. This man was a playboy. And his perverted nature was displayed on the outside. He wasn't the kind of person who tried his best to hide that he was a playboy. He would flirt with other girls in front of you. How to say it? This was also his unique point. Did it mean that he didn't have any ulterior motives? That didn't seem right. But he was too arrogant. Flirting with other girls in front of his girlfriend. Wow. He was too invincible. Ling Ying didn't understand how he could do this. Was it because of her connivance? But she didn't want to care about Lin Xian. It couldn't be said that she didn't want to care. But she didn't have the strength. TCH, don't swear. God knows how many girlfriends you have outside other than me. Ling Ying snorted and said. Lin Xian. Wow. This was a bit awkward. She couldn't have known something, right? That shouldn't be. How is that possible? I only have you. Ding. Hiding the truth from your girlfriend is considered a scumbag's behavior. Scumbag value plus 100,000. That's right. Lin Xian admitted that this was indeed a scumbag's behavior. He admitted it. But he couldn't just tell Ling Ying that he had other girlfriends, right? And there were 3 of them. Unless he didn't want to live anymore. Really? Ling Ying glanced at Lin Xian, and then turned her head. I don't believe it. I think there are several of them. Chapter 395. Needless to say, after hearing Ling Ying's words, Lin Xian was very confident. Very confident. Did a few? What nonsense. He really didn't. I swear. I really didn't do a few. I swear on the happiness of the rest of my life. Lin Xian made a solemn vow, looking very serious and confident. Is that so? Didn't do a few? Does that mean you only did one? Ling Ying glanced at Lin Xian while driving. Lin Xian. Wow. As expected, Ling Ying was better than Miao Xiaomiao. She could hear the hidden meaning in Lin Xian's words. Although Miao Xiaomiao's IQ was high, she was still young and had less experience. Having a high IQ didn't mean that she couldn't be tricked easily. Look, she was tricked by Lin Xian. But what about Ling Ying? She was too familiar with Lin Xian's methods. She immediately caught the loophole that Lin Xian was trying to hide. Lin Xian smiled bitterly. No, not really, Lin Xian said awkwardly. Ding. Felt Ling Ying's jealousy. Scumbag man value plus 300000. Previously, when he was jealous, the scumbag man value would at most increase by 50,000 or 100,000. This time, it directly increased by 300,000. It was enough to see how unhappy and wronged Ling Ying was. But she didn't show it. To be honest, Lin Xian really blamed himself. If it wasn't for this damn system, Lin Xian really felt that Ling Ying alone was enough. This woman was really good. Of course, Ling Ying couldn't be let off either. Even if he didn't have anything to do with other girls, just being good friends was enough. But reality didn't allow it. Lin Xian was also tired. Ling Ying was very smart. As long as Lin Xian showed a little bit of abnormality, she would be able to guess what was going on. After all, girls were very sensitive. The saying that a girl's IQ would be halved when she was in love was true. However, This so-called IQ was not the IQ of thinking, but the IQ of treating the man she liked. For example, when Ling Ying fell in love with Lin Xian, she even felt that Lin Xian had slept with other girls, but she couldn't bear to give up on him. She was even willing to let Han Chuxue and Lin Xian have some kind of relationship. Didn't this mean that she had become stupid? Of course. Han Chuxue? Ling Ying asked. Lin Xian quickly shook his head. What? No. You're the one who thinks too much. All right. Ling Ying didn't want to expose him either. Well, don't drive it home, Lin Xian said as he rubbed his nose. Although he felt guilty, he really wanted to bully Ling Ying. Get lost. Either you get out of the car and find someone else, or you go home. It's your choice. Ling Ying rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. She really felt wronged in her heart. Although she was prepared, it was useless. She was the daughter of the Ling family in Tiandu. She had countless suitors, and all kinds of outstanding boys. She could forget about being with Lin Xian, but he was still fooling around outside. She couldn't do anything about it. Wow. She never thought that she would have such a day. Go home, go home. And I don't have any other girls to look for. Lin Xian grinned. Like hell I'll believe you. Ling Ying rolled her eyes at Lin Xian and said, Do you have anything to do tomorrow? No, nothing. Lin Xian quickly replied. Accompany me shopping tomorrow. Are you free? Yes, I'm free. Even if Lin Xian had something important to do, he still had to accompany Ling Ying tomorrow. This girl was too wronged, and Lin Xian really felt bad about it. Originally, he had planned to go to Ling Longshue's place tonight to complete the mission, but he felt bad about it, and decided to go home and accompany Ling Ying. Okay. Hearing Lin Xian's words, Ling Ying felt much better. Alright, big sis Linya is sick. Ling Ying suddenly thought of something and said, What? Lin Xian's face was full of surprise. She's sick. Today when big sis Linya came home from work, she coughed and seemed to be quite weak. She didn't have any appetite for dinner, so she lay on the bed and played with her phone for a while before going to sleep. That shouldn't be. Lin Xian frowned. What's wrong? Little fairy is at the arcane body realm now. How could she be sick? Ah. Hearing Lin Xian's words, Ling Ying was also stunned. People below the arcane body realm could still get sick, but their immunity was very high, so it was very difficult for them to get sick. However, after reaching the arcane body realm, getting sick at this realm was a bit unreasonable. Ling Ying didn't know that Linya had reached the arcane body realm. Linya relied on the fruit that Ling Longshui gave her to advance. She was very low-key, so this kind of thing wasn't worth mentioning. So at first, Ling Ying didn't think much of Linya's illness, but when he heard Lin Xian say that she was at the arcane body realm, he was shocked. That's right, why would an arcane body realm cultivator get sick? Although nothing was absolute, the probability of an arcane body realm cultivator falling sick should be less than 1 in 100,000, right? Lin Xian nodded. She's at the arcane body realm. Let's go home first. Do you have a fever? This time, Lin Xian didn't have any thoughts of going with Ling Ying, which also made Ling Ying extremely worried. He also didn't have the mood to go shopping with Lin Xian tomorrow. If Linya was simply sick with a fever, she could just rest at home, and they could also go shopping. However, an arcane body realm cultivator falling sick inexplicably made them feel that something was wrong. Ling Ying nodded. She has a fever. It's more than 39 degrees. She has taken medicine. But Sister Linya doesn't want to go 4 and 4. Sister Linya is asleep. Do you want to disturb her? Lin Xian said. Let's go home first. For things like illness, it could only be treated through medical means. The so-called wood attribute and light attribute were useless. Therefore, it didn't mean that with the wood attribute and light attribute, there was no need for medical staff. The wood attribute and light attribute were more used to treat external injuries, internal injuries, or some poisons. Illness wasn't within the scope of treatment. Ling Ying sped up the car, and they soon arrived home. Linya's door was open. After all, there were no outsiders at home. She and Ling Ying had a good relationship like sisters. Moreover, they were both girls, and Lin Xian was her little brother, so there was nothing taboo. Lin Xian and Ling Ying walked in quietly. They didn't dare to turn on the light, afraid that the light would wake Linya up. but it was enough to rely on the light in the living room. On the bed, Linya was lying there quietly. Because it was late autumn, the weather was relatively cold, and she was covered with a quilt that wasn't too thin. She was gentle and elegant, and it was the same when she fell asleep. Her sleeping posture was incomparably sharp compared to Ling Ying's. Ling Ying's hair would fly to the sky when she woke up the next day, but Linya would still be very neat. This was the difference. Lin Xian gently reached out his hand and placed it on Linya's forehead. She didn't wake up. "How is it?" Ling Ying asked curiously in a low voice. Lin Xian shook his head slightly. "It's not hot anymore. The fever is gone." "Phew, then it's fine. You scared me." Ling Ying patted his chest. Chapter 396. Lin Xian looked at Linya and said, "Little fairy, you still have to rest at home. Without an drip, it's easy for the fever to not be completely cured if you rely on medicine to reduce it. It's quite cold outside today, and the wind is quite strong, so you should stay at home and rest well. I'll bring you lunch in the afternoon. If you're obedient and rest well, we'll go shopping again in the afternoon and at night, okay?" For a girl, as long as it was shopping, it was like being injected with chicken blood. When Ling Ying heard that Lin Xian wanted to accompany her in the afternoon, and the three of them would go shopping together in the evening, she didn't feel tired at all. Instead, she was especially excited. Shopping for the whole day. How cool would that be? And with Lin Xian and Linya accompanying her, it was comfortable. Linya was very disappointed when she heard that Lin Xian didn't want to take her shopping. But when she heard the second half of Lin Xian's sentence, she immediately became happy. "Okay, but won't you be tired?" Linya looked at Lin Xian again. Lin Xian was tired. Men and women were different. Women shopping was like men playing games. They enjoyed it and never got tired. But if Lin Xian were to shop for the whole day, he would be physically and mentally exhausted. But for their sake he would be tired. Moreover, shopping with two beauties, other than being tired, it didn't seem to be a loss. Men can't say they can't, and they can't say they're tired. Lin Xian grinned. Linya and Ling Ying obviously understood what he meant. The two girls rolled their eyes at Lin Xian at the same time. After that, they washed up and changed into new clothes. Then Lin Xian and Ling Ying went shopping. Linya also stayed at home to rest. Not for anything else, but to be able to go out with Lin Xian in the afternoon and evening. She was also willing to go shopping. Lin Xian realized that he was a talent. They shopped for about an hour and ate a lot of delicious food. Ling Ying also bought a lot of things, but they were all placed in the interspatial ring. This was a convenient place that didn't need Lin Xian to carry, so it was relatively less tiring. Then, Lin Xian suggested that they go watch a movie. Ling Ying naturally agreed. Ever since she started dating Lin Xian, they had never watched a movie together. But she had watched it with Linya a few times. Ling didn't think much about it. She didn't know what Lin Xian. She didn't know what Lin Xian. Lin Xian's thoughts. It was to watch a movie for 2 hours. If they didn't want to watch a movie, then 2 hours. How tiring would that be? It would be better to spend these 2 hours in the theater. It would be good to just sit and watch the movie. It wouldn't be tiring at all. They would buy the last ticket and be intimate with Ling Ying. How comfortable would that be? Ling Ying really thought that Lin Xian wanted to watch a movie with her. She didn't know that Lin Xian was so scheming. If she knew, she would probably send Lin Xian flying with a kick. If other boys knew, it would be even more uncomfortable. They couldn't wait to go shopping with a beauty like Ling Ying. Let's not talk about whether they could do anything. When they walked together, people would look at them, and they would feel proud. However, this man actually thought of ways to not go shopping with her. F***ck. It was really infuriating to compare oneself to others. The best part was that after watching the movie, they had to go for dinner in 2 hours. Dinner would take more than an hour. In other words, after dinner they could basically go home. If Ling Ying didn't have enough fun, then they could go shopping for a while. Then it wouldn't matter at all. That's right. The whole morning and afternoon passed just like that. Lin Xian said that when he went shopping with girls in the future, watching a movie would be a must. Even if he died, he couldn't let them go shopping blindly. Watching a movie for 2 hours would be enough. How comfortable would that be? It would even make the girl feel especially satisfied. Ling Ying was super satisfied. She felt that Lin Xian accompanied her for a long time. In fact, they sat there for 3 to 4 hours while eating and watching the movie. However, to her, there was no difference between going shopping and watching a movie. The main thing was that Lin Xian was by her side. Lin Xian felt that he was becoming more and more despicable. F***ck. The two of them chatted and laughed as they returned home. They took out their keys and opened the door. The moment they opened the door, the smiles on their faces froze. Their pupils suddenly shrank because they saw Linya lying on the ground beside the coffee table. At this moment, she seemed to be trying her best to get up and sit on the sofa. Little fairy sister Linya. The two of them quickly ran over to support Linya. It's so hot. When Ling Ying touched Linya, his first reaction was that it was hot. This wasn't just a simple fever, right? It was so hot. He had never seen someone with a fever who could be so hot. Lin Xian quickly placed Linya on the sofa. At this moment, Linya's entire body was red. It was hot. What's going on? Lin Xian frowned. Linya was a little delirious from the fever. Her eyes were closed, but her beautiful hand was tightly holding Lin Xian's hand. This is definitely not a normal fever. Lin Xian gritted his teeth. He was too careless. He should have known that it was abnormal for an arcane body state to have a fever. He should not have stopped investigating after seeing that Linya's fever had subsided. I'll call the doctor. Ling Ying quickly said, and took out his phone. No need. If it was in the past, he could only leave it to the doctor. However, Lin Xian had the imperial sacred art of healing. When he saw Linya's situation, the imperial sacred art of healing's memory seemed to exist, but he could not figure it out. You're not calling the doctor? Ling Ying looked at Lin Xian with a puzzled expression. Linya's fever was not an injury. It was not a what attribute or light attribute healing ability. Only the hospital's medical methods could help. I can try first. Go get some ice packs. Okay. Although Ling Ying did not understand, she only needed to know that Lin Xian would not do anything bad for Linya. Therefore, she quickly went to prepare the ice packs according to Lin Xian's instructions. At this moment, Lin Xian was holding Linya's small hand. He released the spiritual power in his body and probed her body to find the source of the illness. It was so hot. It was definitely not a normal fever or cold. There must be some mutation or something in her body. With Lin Xian's proficiency in medicine, especially the imperial sacred art of healing, he could easily find the source of the illness. For example, if there was a slight difference in a certain area, Lin Xian would be able to sense it. Other people would also be able to sense it if they didn't understand it. However, they didn't understand it. No matter how they probed, they wouldn't be able to tell what the problem was. Lin Xian closed his eyes and focused all his spiritual power on probing Linya's body. Ling Ying prepared the ice packs and gently wrapped a thin towel around Linya's forehead. Then, she sat at the side worriedly and watched Lin Xian check on Linya. At that moment, Lin Xian seemed to have sensed something. He followed closely and opened his eyes abruptly, revealing a look of disbelief. Chapter 397. What surprised Lin Xian the most was that he had found the cause. Why would a person have a fever? There were many reasons, but the most common reason was viruses, bacteria, and other dirty things entering the body. At this time, the white blood cells would produce a bunch of cytokines to attack them, which would cause a fever. Normally, this kind of fever would be treated with medicine, and martial artists would not be able to detect the cellular level. However, Lin Xian felt that Linya's fever was not a normal one, which was why he checked. However, his illness was not caused by a mutation in his body, but by an insect. That's right. There was a bug in Linya's body. It was this bug that caused Linya's current condition. This bug was very, very small, and when Lin Xian checked with his spiritual power, he found that this bug was not normal. Even a full-body CT would not be able to detect it. As for medicine, it was naturally useless. Why would such a bug appear in Linya's body? Then Lin Xian opened his eyes. How is it? Ling Ying quickly asked. I found it. Lin Xian breathed a sigh of relief. His spiritual power had forced the bug back, and it was useful. The most difficult thing was to detect it. Only martial artists who were especially careful could detect it. Usually, people with a fever would choose medical treatment, so no one would be able to detect it. It was a death sentence. How many people would think that a person with a fever would need a martial artist to check? Very, very few, because it was deeply ingrained in people's minds that a martial artist could not interfere with a fever. Is there a way? Lin Xian nodded. Yes. Fortunately, Lin Xian was smart enough to check on Linya. If he had simply sent her to the hospital, it would have been useless. Then Lin Xian said to Ling Ying, "Give me a dagger for you." Ling Ying gave Lin Xian a dagger in a daze. "Go prepare a basin, a wet towel and gauze." Ling Ying hurriedly prepared everything and put it on the coffee table. She had no idea what Lin Xian was trying to do. Was he going to use a knife? Why did Linya have a fever? And why did Lin Xian have to use a knife on her? Wasn't this messing around? Little fairy, endure the pain. Chi. Lin Xian then cut open a wound on Linya's fair and beautiful arm, causing blood to flow out. When Ling Ying saw this scene, he was both dumbfounded and unable to bear it. Linya groaned in pain, and subconsciously pulled her arm back. However, she was still in a daze and did not wake up. Lin Xian pulled her back. Lin Xian then released his spiritual energy into Linya's body. The spiritual energy chased after the worm, and forced it towards Linya's wound. Whoosh! A small blood-red figure flew out from Lin Xian's wound. Lin Xian's eyes were sharp and his hands were fast. He immediately froze it with a slight chill, and reached out to grab it. Ling Ying, help treat little fairy's wound. Oh. Ling Ying was dumbfounded the entire time. He then hurriedly helped clean Linya's wound, and wrapped it with gauze. The wound was actually nothing much. If she wanted it to heal faster, she could ask Lu Yufan to come over, and release somewhat attribute healing energy. What surprised Ling Ying was that Lin Xian had just released ice attribute energy. Although it was just a bit of energy, she was certain that it was ice attribute. That was released directly by Lin Xian? It couldn't be, right? That meant that other than space, lightning and poison, Lin Xian also had ice attribute? It couldn't be, right? But if it was an ice attribute, how could it be explained? What kind of demon was this Lin Xian? It was one thing for a person to have two attributes. But at this moment, Lin Xian was holding the frozen bug and observing it. What's this? After Ling Ying helped Linya wrap the gauze, she saw the small ice cube in Lin Xian's hand. She then looked over, and saw a very small red bug frozen inside. This bug looked more like a soft-bodied bug. It wasn't too disgusting, about 0.1 centimeters. It was really, really small. However, this fiery red color was really strange. Wait a minute. Lin Xian had just frozen this little thing? Ling Ying seemed to have seen this little thing fly out from Linya's wound. Could it be that this was the thing that caused Linya to have a fever? So strange. Lin Xian then said, "It's a creature called the firebug." Firebug. Ling Ying had never heard of this before. Lin Xian had also never heard of it before. However, Lin Xian recognized this bug after seeing it clearly. This was because it existed in the memories of the imperial physician's sacred technique. This was a type of goo worm. It was very disgusting. After entering the human body, it would cause the human body to burn and have a fever. Moreover, CT scans wouldn't be able to detect it. If it was allowed to grow, even martial artists wouldn't be able to detect it, because it was too good at disguising itself. However, no one on planet Aqua Blue knew about goo worms. This required the control of the goo worm for it to grow. Otherwise, Lin Xian wouldn't be able to detect it. This type of firebug would cause a person to die of fever bit by bit. Most importantly, once it reached a level where even martial artists couldn't detect it, they could only watch as the person died. This was the most terrifying part. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. Luckily, he wasn't too late. Planet Aqua Blue didn't seem to have goo techniques. Anyway, that was what Lin Xian remembered. However, Earth did. Ling Ying, do you know about goo techniques? Goo techniques? What's that? Lin Xian shook his head. It's nothing. Since Ling Ying didn't know about it, it shouldn't exist. Even if it existed, it shouldn't be something they could come into contact with. Luckily, he didn't know about Gu techniques. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. Did this fire bug accidentally enter Linya's body? Lin Xian wasn't sure. In fact, Lin Xian was more inclined to believe that the fire bug was man-made. Although the fire bug looked quite powerful, its vitality was extremely low. It could only live in the bodies of living creatures. Otherwise, it wouldn't live for more than a few days. How could such a bug exist in Tianhua City? It couldn't fly. It only flew because Lin Xian used his spiritual power to push it up. The fire bug moved slowly. It probably could only move a few dozen meters a day. How could it enter Linya's body? Moreover, this bug didn't bite through flesh and enter. Normally, it would enter through a living creature's food. It would enter through its food. Therefore, Lin Xian felt that someone must have prepared the fire bug specifically to attack Linya. This person didn't have the ability to kill Linya. Or rather, he wanted to use other methods to kill Linya without leaving any traces. That's why he used the fire bug. Lin Xian secretly clenched his fists. Who else? Who else wanted to attack Linya? Qin Xiaodian? Logically speaking, he should be the one attacking. He couldn't have attacked Linya alone, right? Moreover, this was a special period. Who else could it be? Lin Xian really couldn't think of anyone. Chapter 398. Although Lin Xian didn't tell Lingying too much, Lingying was very smart. Of course she could guess what was going on. At least she knew that the frozen bug in Lin Xian's hand was the culprit that caused Linya's high fever and coma. A bug that caused an arcane body realm cultivator to have a high fever, and even coma might be life-threatening. This was really something that Lingying had never heard of before. Lin Xian then used a bit of strength and crushed the bug. Lin Xian, why would this bug appear in Sister Linya's body? I've never heard of such a situation. Lingying asked Lin Xian in astonishment. I'm not too sure either. It's all speculation. Let's wait until little fairy wakes up and ask her if anything unusual happened during the day. Lingying nodded. Then the two of them stood guard by Linya's side. As expected, her body has cooled down. Lingying said with a sigh of relief, after feeling the temperature of Linya's body with her jade hand. Lin Xian nodded. That means it's because of this charcoal bug. After a while, Linya's eyebrows slightly knitted. Lin Xian and Lingying hurried over. Then Linya slowly opened her beautiful eyes. What entered her eyes were the two people's heads. Linya's large eyes were filled with confusion. Then she moved her arm, which pulled on her wound, and revealed a pained expression. Does little fairy's arm hurt? Let me help you blow on it. Lin Xian lightly pinched Linya's pink cheeks, and said with a smile. Linya's charming face reddened, then she sat up. What happened to me? What's with my arm? She didn't quite understand what was going on with her. You had a fever. The fever was quite serious. Then your groggy arm was injured by a knife. Lin Xian didn't tell her the truth, because he didn't want her to worry. Linya rubbed her forehead. It's a bit dizzy. Lingying poured a cup of hot water for her, and placed it beside her. She understood why Lin Xian didn't tell her the truth. Linya only remembered that after Lin Xian and Lin Xian left, she went to bed to take a nap. When she woke up, she wanted to make some lunch for herself. At that time, she was still normal, but she was getting dizzy and couldn't even stand. She couldn't remember anything after that. Little fairy, did you have any abnormalities in the company yesterday? Lin Xian asked. Linya didn't understand why Lin Xian would ask this. Was there anyone suspicious people's rights? Someone, S? Not to course I to S. Then how did you eat? The fire bug entered the human body through food. Therefore, this was what Lin Xian was concerned about. I was quite busy yesterday. When I was done, there wasn't much food left in the kitchen. I ordered some takeout for lunch. It was delivered by a delivery man. Delivery man? What kind of delivery man? Lin Xian asked quickly. As expected, if Linya ate in the cafeteria normally, she would be fine. Coincidentally, something happened to her, and she ordered takeout. Was there a cause and effect between them? Lingying understood what he meant. Lin Xian suspected that the bug entered Linya's body through food. Linya shook her head. I don't know. Little Qing helped me bring the takeout. What's wrong? Little Xian, do you think my fever is because of lunch? It can't be? Linya asked in confusion. Little Qing was Linya's assistant. Lin Xian, maybe. Little fairy, you should rest at home. Ling Ying, please take care of little fairy. Don't worry. Leave it to me. Ling Ying knew what Lin Xian was going to do. I'll go out first. Lin Xian pinched Linya's cheeks out of habit and rushed out the door. Linya looked at Ling Ying strangely and asked, Little Ying, is there another reason for my fever? Ling Ying shook his head. No, he just thinks it's because of the food. He wants to cause trouble. It's fine. Linya wasn't a fool. There must be a reason why Lin Xian was asking such irrelevant questions, and why he was in such a hurry to leave the house after asking those questions. Food. She was at the arcane body realm. If she had a fever or fainted just because she ate something, it wouldn't make sense. Therefore, Linya felt that there must be something wrong with the food. But since he didn't say anything, she didn't continue asking. Big sister Linya, you should rest at home for the next 2 days. I'll call Meng Meng over later and let her treat your external injuries. Won't it be too troublesome? Linya asked softly. It's not troublesome. I just invited her over for dinner. This girl ran over eagerly. Ling Ying smiled and continued. Big sister Linya, you should rest for a while. Let me know if there's anything. I'll go prepare the ingredients first. Thank you. Big sister Linya, don't be so polite with me. Ling Ying laughed and walked into the kitchen. At this moment, Lin Xian drove Linya's car to her company. Young Master Lin. Lin Xian walked through the company. Those who knew him all called him Young Master Lin. After all, they knew that he was Linya's younger brother. Lin Xian came to Zhang Qingqing's office. It could be considered an office. Usually, he would help Linya deal with some matters. When Linya was around, she would be with Lin Xian. When she wasn't around, she would deal with things in her own office. Dong dong dong. Please come in. Then Lin Xian pushed open the door and walked in. Lin Xian, why are you here? Zhang Qingqing was surprised to see Lin Xian. Linya wasn't here either. Zhang Qingqing was a pretty woman. She was 26 or 27 years old and was already married. She was very capable in business, so Linya made her her right-hand woman. Lin Xian didn't have a good relationship with her. That was because they didn't spend much time together. However, in the entire company, she probably interacted with Lin Xian the most. Therefore, their relationship could be considered the best. Now there were 2 people that Lin Xian was suspicious of. The first was Zhang Qingqing, and the second was the delivery man. Zhang Qingqing was the one who gave Linya lunch. In other words, she had interacted with Linya midway. Therefore, Lin Xian suspected her. However, Lin Xian didn't suspect her too much. Lin Xian knew this person's character very well. Moreover, Linya treated her well. She was just an ordinary salesperson in the company. She was chosen by Linya and was promoted. However, who could say for sure what a person's heart was? Sister Qing. Lin Xian called out and sat on the sofa next to her. Zhang Qingqing poured a glass of water for Lin Xian. Of course, she could tell that Lin Xian was here for something. What's the matter? Did Boss Lin ask you to come? If there's anything, Boss Lin can just give me a call. Zhang Qingqing moved a chair and sat in front of Lin Xian. No, my sister has a fever and is resting at home. I have something to ask you, Sister Qing. Lin Xian looked into Zhang Qingqing's eyes the whole time when he spoke. Chapter 399. Anyone can lie anywhere, but the eyes can't. The eyes are the window to the soul. This sentence is not groundless, and it is not without basis. Perhaps, you are very shrewd, very scheming, and have an incomparably calm state of mind, so that you won't be exposed when you lie. However, Zhang Qingqing in front of him, although she has been in society for several years, she would never be calm to that extent. However, when Lin Xian said this sentence, her eyes didn't show the panic that Lin Xian wanted to see, only worry. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. She shouldn't be. If she was, I believe that Linya would be very sad when she knew. The previous incident of the factory crystal, coupled with this incident, would she really suspect that there is no trust between people around her? Would she even suspect that there is something wrong with her character? Why do the people around her always want to harm her? Fortunately, she shouldn't be. Lin Xian still felt that he was quite good at judging people. Since he basically felt that she wasn't, then Lin Xian could tell her freely. Does President Lin have a fever? She didn't tell me. Lin Xian said. It's nothing serious. Right, Sister Qing? My sister ordered takeout for lunch yesterday, right? Zhang Qingqing didn't know why Lin Xian asked this. She nodded. Yeah, President Lin usually doesn't eat takeout for a few months. It is all cooked in the cafeteria. Yesterday, President Lin was in a hurry to rush a project and didn't even have time to eat. I wanted to leave some food for her, but President Lin said that she didn't know when it would end, so I didn't leave any food. After that, there was no more food, so she could only order takeout. Did something go wrong? It shouldn't be. President Lin ordered a long-established takeout. Lin Xian hesitated slightly, and then said, she had a fever because someone did something to her. It wasn't a simple fever. Did the delivery person see it? Ah. Zhang Qingqing showed a surprised expression. Can a fever be tampered with? Could it be some kind of virus? Then she replied to Lin Xian. I saw the delivery man because I was the one who took the takeout. Any recollection? Lin Xian asked. Zhang Qingqing lowered her head and pondered. She's wearing a takeout uniform and a hat, but she's a girl. He's quite young. A young girl? Lin Xian frowned. Yes, and I feel that it's quite beautiful. It's just that the makeup is a little heavy. You reminded me. If she's just a simple delivery man, she shouldn't have such heavy makeup. Zhang Qingqing suddenly realized this point. Lin Xian also confirmed it. That was right. There were very few female delivery workers, but there were indeed some. However, a young girl with heavy makeup delivering food? This was obviously abnormal. Even if she wanted to earn money, wouldn't it be easy for her to find a higher-paying job with makeup and a pretty face? Moreover, she didn't have to be so tired. Takeout was exposed to the elements, rain or shine. It was useless to wear makeup. At the end of the day, the money she earned was not even as much as the money she spent on makeup. Of course, it might be a little exaggerated, but according to Zhang Qingqing, there was something wrong with this person. Can the surveillance camera capture it? Yes. Yes. Follow me. Then Zhang Qingqing brought Lin Xian to the surveillance room. Zhang Qingqing personally operated the surveillance camera and adjusted the video to the previous time. As she personally took the food for Linya, she definitely remembered the time very clearly. Then Lin Xian stared at the video closely. The video showed a figure wearing a yellow takeout uniform standing at the company's entrance. Soon, Zhang Qingqing's figure walked over, took the takeout and walked back. There really didn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary. Sister Qing, can you zoom in? Yes, but it's a little blurry. Then Zhang Qingqing retreated and paused at the scene where it was easiest to see her face. Then she zoomed in. Zhao Mingyue. The image was a little blurry, and he couldn't see her face. However, with such a sharp chin and half of her face, Lin Xian could basically tell that she looked like Zhao Mingyue. Then, Lin Xian took out his cell phone and chatted with Wang Fugue. He didn't know where Wang Fugue had gotten Zhao Mingyue's photo. Although Wang Fugue was a little timid, he was quite good at socializing. After all, he was rich. With some money, he could basically get any information he wanted. Sister Qing, can you see if that's her? Lin Xian handed the photo over. Zhang Qingqing took a look and nodded. It's her. Why do you have her photo? Do you know her? Is she the one who wants to harm CEO Lin? Should I call the police? Zhang Qingqing bombarded him with a series of questions. With Zhang Qingqing's affirmation, Lin Xian was basically certain. Zhao Mingyue. Lin Xian secretly clenched his fists. He originally thought that this woman would no longer have anything to do with him, but he never expected her to still hold a grudge against him. However, it was normal. With a woman's temperament, it was normal for her to hold a grudge. However, based on Lin Xian's understanding of her, this woman was brainless. She wouldn't take revenge like this, right? However, that might not be the case. Lin Xian seemed to have never seen her again after he beat her up. He also didn't know her whereabouts. That's right. Other than Qin Xiaotian, he should also have Zhao Mingyue as an enemy. However, Lin Xian had never thought much of Zhao Mingyue. He felt that this woman wouldn't be able to cause any trouble. He never expected that the smaller the ant, the more likely it was to cause unimaginable consequences. Her advantage was that Lin Xian didn't think much of her, so she could do whatever she wanted. Thank you, Sister Qing. Lin Xian snapped out of his daze and said to Zhang Qingqing. No. It's what I should do. President Lin isn't in any danger, right? Zhang Qingqing asked. No, but be careful of unfamiliar people who enter the company recently. Increase the security. Got it. Zhang Qingqing nodded. Then I'll take my leave first. Sister Qing, you're busy. After saying that, Lin Xian left in a hurry. In the car, Lin Xian gave Wang Fugui a call. Brother Xian. Wang Fugui seemed to have finished eating with Lu Junjun. Fatty, do you know where Zhao Mingyue is right now? Do you know where she is? Is she in the Sky Martial Court? Lin Xian asked. Wang Fugui said, Brother Xian, I already asked about the photo you wanted. She hasn't appeared in Tianhua Academy since you beat her up, but she's still in Tianhua City. Where's her home? This. Zhao Mingyue lost her family 2 years ago. She's the only one left. As for where she is, Brother Xian, it might take some time to find out. Wang Fugui said. Help me check it out. Alright, it's a small matter. Brother Xian, do you have any other orders? Hehe. Lin Xian pondered for a moment, then said, No need. Just keep an eye out for me. Right, there's one more thing. Help me check if there's a creature called the firebug. See if you can find any information. Chapter 400. Wang Fugui ate a mouthful of vegetables. Firebug? I'll remember it. If I can't find it, I'll ask my family to help. Thank you. Wang Fugui smiled and said, Brother Xian, your business is my business. But this vegetable tastes really bad. Brother Xian, when you're free, I'll treat you to a big meal. I want to eat meat. He said bitterly. Lin Xian smiled. This fatty had put in a lot of effort for Lu Junjun, but Lu Junjun should be living a happy life. Brother Xian, please call me when he treats you to a meal. Otherwise, I'll lose weight for nothing. Lu Junjun's voice and Wang Fugui's wails came from the other end. Alright, I'll remember it. I'll hang up first, you guys eat. Lin Xian then hung up the phone and took a deep breath. His eyes flashed with killing intent. Sometimes he felt powerless. If he had his own power and established his own intelligence network, then this kind of thing would be much easier to investigate. At this moment, Lin Xian even had an idea, and that was to establish his own power, a power that he could use. Other than the Bounty Hunter Guild, the Holy Palace, and the Trial Union, why couldn't there be another phenomenal superpower? If he had a superpower of this level for him to use, then many things should be much easier. However, this thought only flashed through his mind. Lin Xian didn't have any ambition. He really just wanted the people around him to not be hurt. He didn't have that much energy to build a power, and he didn't have the ability to do so. Lin Xian never thought that he was extraordinary. All of his efforts were to protect himself and the people he loved. There was nothing else. Lin Xian knew about this matter for the time being, so he would naturally pay attention to it. However, he still needed Wang Fugui to help Lin Xian find Zhao Mingyue's whereabouts. If he could find the firebug, he might be able to find Zhao Mingyue. Wang Fugui's Wang family was one of the wealthiest businessmen in China. Their wealth was comparable to that of a country. Although they were in the business world, they were still considered a powerful family. They naturally had their own channels and their own intelligence network. That was why Lin Xian wanted to ask Wang Fugui for help. But to be honest, he didn't have many people who could help him. Thinking about it, it was quite awkward. After that, Lin Xian drove home. How is little fairy? After returning home, Lin Xian saw Linya and Ling Ying sitting on the sofa. There was even a girl with them. Lu Yufan. This time, Lu Yufan came alone and did not bring Yi Yi with him. It was unknown if she had told Yi Yi about it. Linya looked at Lin Xian and said, Fan healed me. It's fine now. Lin Xian glanced at Linya's arm. The bandage was still bleeding. It was probably changed. It was now clean and white. However, with Lu Yufan's healing ability, she should have healed about 20% of it. However, 20% should be enough to reduce the pain by a lot. After that, Lin Xian sat beside them and stared at Lu Yufan with a smile. Why are you looking at me? Lu Yufan felt uneasy when Lin Xian looked at her. Did she do something wrong? No. Then why was he looking at her like that? Nothing. I was just wondering why you didn't bring Yi with you. Aren't you always together? Lu Yufan was also very surprised when she arrived. She just found out that Lin Xian and Lin Yu were already living in Ling Ying's house. She felt jealous for no reason. Although she heard Ling Ying's explanation that their original house was in danger, she was still very jealous. Ling Ying was the top beauty in the school. Now that Lin Xian was living under the same roof as her, who knew what would happen? How infuriating. Why didn't she know at that time? Otherwise, she would have let them live in her house. Coincidentally, her parents also liked Lin Xian very much, because at Yi Yi's birthday party, they also saw the difference in Lin Xian. Senior Ling Ying said that Sister Yaya was injured and asked me to come over to treat her. I didn't come over to play. How could I have the time to bring Yi along? Lu Yufan explained. Oh, then why are you still sitting here? Aren't you going home? Lu Yufan. Ding. Felt Lu Yufan's displeasure. Scumbag value plus 10,000. Lin Xian was just teasing her. Little Xian, she specially came over to treat me. How could you say that? Lin Ye said with a slight reproach. That's right, that's right. Lu Yufan pouted and rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Ha ha ha, I'm just kidding. Lin Xian laughed. Don't joke around. Fan Fan is a guest. She just said that she wanted to eat the food you personally cooked. Ling Ying's big eyes flashed with a trace of slyness as she said to Lin Xian. Aha. Lu Yufan hurriedly nodded her little head, looking like she was the boss since she was the guest. My kidneys hurt. Lin Xian hurriedly held her stomach. That's your stomach. Stop pretending. Also, where do you need a kidney? Lu Yufan cutely retorted to Lin Xian. Lin Xian. Oh my. You still don't need a kidney? Lin Xian really wanted her to ask Ling Ying next to her, and ask her if she was strong. Moreover, if she made Lin Xian unhappy, he might use it on her. Let's see if she could still say that she could use a kidney. Ahem, I'm going to cook. You guys talk. Ling Ying was too embarrassed to stay on this topic. She knew who Lin Xian used his kidney on every day. Senior Ling Ying, I'll help you. Lu Yufan wanted to get up. Although she said that, she wasn't an impolite lady. If she could help, she would definitely help. No need. You accompany Lin Ye and chat. Lin Xian, come over and help me, Ling Ying said with a smile. To be honest, Lu Yufan was really shy to be alone with Lin Ye. She had never been in such a situation before, so she didn't know what would happen if they were alone together. After all, she was Lin Xian's secret girlfriend. Lin Xian then followed Ling Ying to the kitchen. On the other side, Lu Yufan chatted with Lin Ye alone. Lin Ye also couldn't stay idle. She shouted to Lin Xian. Little Xian, what dishes do you need to choose? Bring them over. We'll help here. Okay. Lin Xian didn't stand on ceremony and brought over a pile of vegetables. They sat here and chatted. It was also good to choose the dishes. The most important thing was that Lin Xian, who was a cook, had a hard time picking the ingredients. How could a man like him be as meticulous as a girl? Moreover, he couldn't settle down to pick the ingredients quietly. Sister Lin Ye's arm is still injured, and you're letting her choose the dishes? On the surface, they're siblings. In the kitchen, Ling Ying couldn't help but roll her eyes at Lin Xian. Chapter 401. Lin Xian coughed dryly and said, You don't understand. Little fairy can't stay idle. Even if you don't let her choose the ingredients, she will run to the kitchen every once in a while. It's better to let her sit there and chat with Fan Fan while she chooses the ingredients. Alright, you cook, I'll help, Ling Ying said, and then unwrapped a lollipop for himself. Lin Xian. You cook, I'll help. Fan Fan just said that she wants to eat your cooking, so you cook. Lin Xian. Alright, I'll cook. Lin Xian secretly shook his head. His status as a man. It looked like he had to find another chance to ask Ling Ying for advice. He had to fight for his status and dignity as a man. After that, the four of them happily finished their dinner. Lu Yufan chatted with them for a while. Then Lin Xian drove her home. Lin Xian. Why don't you and Yaya move in with me? In the front passenger seat, Lu Yufan's little face was red. She had probably thought about it for a long time before saying that. Allah. Lin Xian turned his head to look at the red-faced Lu Yufan and couldn't help but tease. Why? Will you have a chance to F***ck me if I move in with you? Lu Yufan. F***ck your sister. Stinky hooligan. If there was a pillow beside her, Lu Yufan would definitely have thrown it at him. Then why do you want me and Little Fairy to move in with you? Lin Xian's question stumped Lu Yufan. Because my house is slightly bigger. Lin Xian laughed in his heart. Could this girl not find a good reason? If you're jealous, then so be it. Stop looking for excuses. You're jealous because you see Little Fairy and I living in Ling Ying's house. Lin Xian said. Lu Yufan. Ding. Felt Lu Yufan's shyness. Scumbag value plus 20,000. Really, Lu Yufan was about to break down. Was this man a straight man? Even if you can see it, can you not say it out loud? Damn. Scram. I won't. Lu Yufan hurriedly explained. Alright. I believe you. Lin Xian chuckled. Then are you going or not? Of course Lin Xian's Lin Xian Lu Yufan's. I'm not going. It's actually quite nice to live here. Moreover, there are 3 rooms and 1 living room for 3 people. Lu Yufan pouted, feeling wronged. Then Lin Xian explained. You have your parents at home. It's inconvenient. That's true. Lu Yufan cutely wrinkled her nose. Then Lin Xian laughed. I know you just want to do me, right? Scram. Stinky pervert. Lu Yufan pouted. How about? Lin Xian's lips curled up. Don't go home tonight. Ah. Lu Yufan looked at Lin Xian in surprise. Why don't you go home? I forgot to bring my ID. Did you bring it? I brought it. Lu Yufan knew that, but she really didn't think that way. Let's go and get a room. Lu Yufan. Get off. I want to get off. Lin Xian. Hey, are you the devil? Lu Yufan's little face was simply too cute. Then, she stared at Lin Xian, as if she was looking at a big bad wolf and said, Send me home. Hee. You don't want to get a room, right? Then I'll drive you to a place where there's no one. Anyway, this car is quite spacious. We can do it in the car. Scram. I want to go home. Lu Yufan was really scared. This Lin Xian might really do that to her. But to be honest, why did she have some expectations? Was she the devil? Okay, I'll send you home. Lin Xian was of course just teasing her. Lin Xian felt that teasing young girls was a very interesting thing in life. He never got tired of it. Lu Yufan. Was he going to give up just like that? If he persisted, or forcefully brought her to the hotel, she might really do that to him. Lu Yufan thought to herself dejectedly. Then, she quickly patted her little face. God, what was she thinking? She was already thinking of giving herself to him. It was too scary. This wasn't her Lu Yufan. They had only been dating for such a short time. They had only kissed and it was only once. She didn't understand why she would have such thoughts. If Lin Xian knew Lu Yufan's true thoughts, he would definitely drive her to the hotel. Send her home. What was this like? It was like asking a young girl out for dinner and a movie in the middle of the night, then asking her where she wanted to go next. The young girl said she didn't know, and the boy said he would send her home. This was the stupidest person in the world. The young girl could accompany you out in the middle of the night, and you still didn't understand? Unfortunately, Lin Xian didn't know. After that, Lin Xian sent Lu Yufan to her house. This was a villa complex, all big and small villas. It was a place where rich people lived. Lin Xian realized that if he could win over these young girls, he wouldn't have to work hard. Each and every one of them was a rich young lady. Yi's house is just next door. Lu Yufan said to Lin Xian when she got out of the car. Actually, she just wanted Lin Xian to stay a little longer. It would be good even if they went to look for Yi together. Lin Xian didn't seem to realize this. He shook his head and said, No, it's late, and her family is at home too. It's too troublesome. You go home, you can go home. Oh. Lu Yufan pouted and waved at Lin Xian. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Then Lin Xian drove back. Big pig trotter. Lu Yufan looked at the taillights of Lin Xian's car and couldn't help but stomp her feet. He didn't even want a chance. But thinking about it, it didn't seem like he gave him a chance, so he couldn't blame him. Originally, Lin Xian wanted to continue to pursue Linglong Shui, and Bing Lingyue's little sister. But now he could only put them aside for now. It was safer to stay at home tonight. Halfway through the car, Lin Xian's phone rang. Lin Xian glanced at it and saw that it was Wang Fugui. Fatty. Lin Xian answered the call. Brother Xian, the things you wanted me to investigate are almost done. Lin Xian raised an eyebrow and said, Speak. Wang Fugui then said, Ever since Zhao Mingyue was beaten up by you, she didn't go to Tianhua Academy. She started to mingle with all kinds of high society. During this period of time, she hooked up with 4 or 5 men. She already sold her place. It seems like she's either staying in a hotel or staying at home with those men. What about her current location? Wang Fugui continued. It's been a while since there's been any news of her. It's like she disappeared from the world. But 2 days ago, she went to Chun Group's chairman's place with him. She should still be there in 2 days. Brother Xian, you can go take a look. Chapter 402. Lin Xian muttered to himself. Chairman of the Chun Group? Send me his information and his home location. Alright, can you find out about the fire bug? Wang Fugui blushed with shame and said, Brother Xian, very few people know about this fire bug. I only got some information from my family, but that's the only thing they know about it. At most, they only know about one of its effects, and it seems like it exists in the Yin Long Heaven Cave. As for the rest, there's no news at all. This thing doesn't have any special uses. Lin Xian nodded. Thanks. Send me the location first. I'll go take a look. Brother Xian, do you want me to accompany you? No need. The fewer people, the smaller the target. Okay, send it over right away. Then they ended the call. Lin Xian leaned against the seat of the car and sighed. He felt a little tired for some reason. He suddenly felt that his life was more tiring than anyone else's. Was it because of him? In the end, Lin Xian placed all the problems on himself. If he didn't kill Jiang Tianyu and Jiang Tianhao, he wouldn't have been noticed by Jiang Zun. If he didn't beat Zhao Mingyue, this wouldn't have happened. And Qin Xiaotian, he still had to try his best to please girls and pick them up. If he couldn't, his level would be reset. Wah! Lin Xian felt really tired. However, he couldn't give up. If he gave up on any of these things, the consequences would be unimaginable. Phew, Lin Xian exhaled. He felt a little lost in his life. However, he only knew that he had to become stronger and protect them. Therefore, he couldn't relax. Right now, he just wanted to hug Ling Ying and do nothing. Then, he would sleep soundly and wake up the next day. Soon, Lin Xian received a message from Wang Fugui. The information of the Chun Group's chairman, including his address. Lin Xian glanced at it. Chun Cheng's father? Lin Xian raised an eyebrow. The chairman of the Chun Group was called Chun Seheo, and he belonged to the top family in Tianhua City. Of course, it was only limited to Tianhua City, but he was still rich, and he was also Chun Cheng's father. He usually had a lot of mistresses and mistresses. Whoosh! Then Lin Xian drove toward the target area. The sky gradually darkened, and it was already 11 p.m. Actually, this time was not bad. Of course, Lin Xian didn't go to Chun Seheo's house. Instead, he went to his private residence. With the Wang family's ability, they were able to find out a few of Chun Siqing's private residences. There were villas, ordinary 3-bedroom apartments, and even houses that he bought for his mistresses. As for which house he was in now, it was not easy to find out, but it could be guessed. If he was still with Zhao Mingyue, and if Zhao Mingyue was his new lover, she couldn't be with another mistress, right? Jinjiang Villa. This was also considered a villa group, but the location was relatively remote. However, the scenery was especially good. For other villas, the distance between 2 villas might be very close. However, because this place was remote, the scenery was good, and there weren't many people. Therefore, when it was built, it was rare. The distance between the 2 villas was more than 100 meters. This was the place that Chun Seheo frequented the most, and also his most secret home. What surprised Lin Xian was that when he arrived near Chen Seheo's villa, he saw that the villa's lights were on. In addition, this was a secret home, so the lights were on. Lin Xian could only pray that the woman inside was Zhao Mengyue. Then, Lin Xian's figure slowly crept toward the villa. For Lin Xian, who was at Mysterious Heaven Realm 3 stars, and had the space attribute, sneaking into such a villa was simply too easy. The lights in the villa were not in the living room, but in one of the rooms on the second floor. The light was still very soft. Of course, this was very normal. Many people like to be in the dark, but some people preferred to be lit with soft light. Lin Xian released the space attribute and directly went to the room next door with the lights on. The two rooms were only separated by a wall. Lin Xian did not need to worry that there would be someone in this room. As a secret residence, there would only be Chen Seheo and his lover here. With the lights on, how could there be anyone in this room? When Lin Xian entered, he roughly glanced around. This was also a room, but it was not very tidy. After all, not many people lived here. Then, Lin Xian began to try to listen for any movements in the room next door. There was no movement. At least he couldn't hear anything. Strange, why didn't the two of them make any noise? Or had they already ended? Why didn't they turn off the lights? Did they like to sleep like this? Lin Xian did not know. He tried to wait in the room next door for a few more minutes, but there was still no movement. In the end, Lin Xian chose to make a move. Of course, he did not foolishly push open the door and enter, nor did he use the space attribute to directly teleport in. He went to the balcony. Every bedroom on the second floor of the villa had a small balcony. They were not connected, but they were only 2 to 3 meters apart. Lin Xian came to the balcony of this room and teleported to the balcony of the room with the lights on and looked over. There were curtains and the curtains were drawn. However, there was a small gap at the edge that was not completely closed. Lin Xian opened the gap slightly and looked in. "Since you're here, why hide? Come in." A voice suddenly came from inside. Lin Xian frowned. This voice belonged to Zhao Mengyue. She could actually find him? Previously, her realm was at most the spirit condensation realm. No, she was not even at the spirit condensation realm. Then how could she have improved to the point where she could sense Lin Xian's existence in such a short time? In other words, she was now at the Mysterious Heaven realm. No, she could have improved. She just needed to kill monsters. Could it be that she had been crazily killing monsters during this period? What about her combat power? To be honest, sometimes it was infuriating to compare oneself to others. In the eyes of others, Lin Xian was very powerful and leveled up quickly. However, Zhao Mengyue did not have any outstanding points, yet she leveled up even faster. No, there must be some special reason for her to be able to improve so quickly. Then Lin Xian flashed in. Unfortunately, if he had the dark attribute, he would not have been discovered. In the room, Zhao Mengyue was wearing white pajamas. She was smoking a lady's cigarette as she sat on the bed, leaning against the headboard. She crossed her long white legs and took a puff of the cigarette. Then, she looked at Lin Xian and blew a puff of smoke at him. She did not look flustered at all. And beside her lay a man. In Lin Xian's opinion, he was already dead. Chapter 403. Lin Xian released his Eye of Cave Spirit. As expected, the reason why Zhao Mengyue was able to detect him, sense his subtle movements, and not panic at all was because she had reached the 3rd level of the Mysterious Heaven realm. She had actually reached the same realm as him. To be honest, Lin Xian was quite surprised. But how should he put it? It was very normal. With enough demon beasts and enough experience points, how could she only reach the 3rd level of the Mysterious Heaven realm? It was very easy for her to reach a higher level, but it was unknown how strong she was. In Lin Xian's opinion, for Zhao Mengyue to be able to improve so quickly, she must have someone helping her. With her previous strength of the Qi-building realm, how could she reach the 3rd level of the Mysterious Heaven realm in such a short period of time? "Why are you standing? Sit." Zhao Mengyue glanced at Lin Xian, then took another puff of her cigarette. The corner of her mouth curled up slightly, revealing a sneer. "Did you kill him?" Lin Xian glanced at the man. It was naturally Chun Seheo. Of course I did. It's the mysterious heaven realm. Wouldn't I be a fool if I didn't want free experience? Moreover, I've already obtained what I could from him. As she spoke, Zhao Mingyue played with a card in her hand. Lin Xian frowned. She actually spoke of killing people so casually. Only the evil fiend shrine would be so indifferent to human life. It seems that you have completely evolved from the green tea watch from before. Lin Xian sat on a chair at the edge of the balcony and looked at her. How should he put it? Lin Xian was not sure how strong Zhao Mingyue was right now, but she seemed to be very calm. However, Lin Xian was not afraid of her. Then it's all thanks to you. Zhao Mingyue sneered. No. You chose to be a green tea watch yourself. I didn't bring you into this profession. Zhao Mingyue did not seem to be angry because of these words. Lin Xian realized that she had changed a lot. It was really shocking to have such a big change in such a short period of time. In the past, she was an idiot, a pure idiot. But now, she seemed to be more shrewd and mysterious. Profession. Zhao Mingyue took a puff of her cigarette and glanced at Lin Xian. Using this to eat an eggs has already become a professional habit. Is it not considered a profession? Heh. Zhao Mingyue sneered. Yes, but isn't it all thanks to you? Oh, thanks to me? Lin Xian's eyebrows raised. Zhao Mingyue's eyes as she looked at Lin Xian's as Mingyue. She of course Lin Xian's. Shwe, because of you. Because of you I you to kill you to kill you. Because of you. Zhao Mingyue's, I Mingyue you, I. Because of you I, who didn't even dare to kill small animals, killed people for the first time, the second time, the third time. Then I realized that I actually liked killing people. I used all kinds of methods to torture them, and then used all kinds of methods to kill them. Watching them die in despair, ha ha ha. It felt so good. Zhao Mingyue laughed sinisterly. Lin Xian frowned. She had lost her mind. Zhao Mingyue then glared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian, it's all because of you. The only reason I became strong is because I want to take revenge. I want to kill you. I want you to pay the price for insulting me. I want you to see the people closest to you die one by one in pain. I want to see your eyes filled with despair and your roar of anger. Ha ha ha. Zhao Mingyue laughed. So you're the one who killed my sister? Although Lin Xian was shocked by Zhao Mingyue's change, so what? She had a reason, didn't she? Ha ha ha, of course. How is it? Is she going to die now? Ha ha ha, you don't know why, right? Are you in despair? Ha ha ha. Zhao Mingyue laughed sinisterly. She seemed to be in a good mood. Sorry, she's fine. Lin Xian's eyes flashed with killing intent. What? Zhao Mingyue revealed an expression of disbelief. Then she laughed. That's impossible. Don't try to trick me. She had only found out about the firebug by accident. She knew very well that there were very few people in this world who knew about the existence of the firebug, let alone someone who had such an incident. If they didn't think of the firebug, how could they have discovered it? Therefore, she felt that Lin Xian was trying to trick her. Isn't it just the firebug? You think you're very smart, right? When Lin Xian mentioned the firebug, Zhao Mingyue knew that Lin was definitely fine. I don't care what happened to you, whether it's because of me or not. I only know that you brought this upon yourself. Don't think that you have a reason for killing people. Moreover, Lin Xian's eyes flashed with killing intent. He stretched out his hand, and the 1,000 evils appeared in his palm. Anyone who dares to attack the love of my side will pay the heaviest price. After saying that, Lin Xian's 1,000 evils condensed lightning. Lightning 1,000 blaze slash. Zhao Mingyue was shocked when she felt Lin Xian's aura. Mystic Heaven Realm 3 stars. She thought that her realm had risen fast enough, which was why she dared to be so presumptuous in front of Lin Xian. That was because she felt that Lin Xian wouldn't be able to return today. But now it was different. Because he was Mystic Heaven Realm 3 stars. She was only Mystic Heaven Realm 3 stars. But Lin Xian had the dual attributes of space and lightning. Whoosh! Lin Xian's figure flashed, and directly teleported near Zhao Mingyue with instant shadow. Zhao Mingyue's pupils suddenly shrank. She subconsciously took out her spiritual weapon, and then suddenly turned around to block. Sizzle! The two swords collided and the lightning scattered. Bang! In the next instant, Zhao Mingyue's body was directly sent flying by the lightning. She crashed through the balcony and fell down. Lin Xian rushed over without hesitation. In midair, Zhao Mingyue suddenly turned around and quickly landed on the ground with the help of a tree. After landing, she staggered a few steps and then clutched her chest. She was too shocked. This Lin Xian's strength was countless times stronger than hers. In the same realm, she even felt that she wasn't qualified to fight with Lin Xian. Why? Why was there such a huge difference in the same realm? In the beginning, she thought that it was good enough that Lin Xian was Mystic Heaven Realm 1 star, and she was Mystic Heaven Realm 3 stars. She thought that victory was in her hands. But now that she thought about it, even if Lin Xian was Mystic Heaven Realm 1 star, she might not be a match for Lin Xian. She had still underestimated this person. Then, Zhao Mingyue slowly raised her sword-wielding right hand. Her arm couldn't help but tremble slightly. Lin Xian had slashed a hole in her spiritual weapon. One had to know that this wasn't an ordinary weapon made of steel. It was a spiritual weapon. A hole in the spiritual weapon. Whoosh! Lin Xian landed in front of her. Zhao Mingyue quickly raised her head. Her eyes were filled with viciousness and fear. Chapter 404. Lin Xian looked coldly at Zhao Mingyue in front of him. Anyone who had ulterior motives, or posed a threat to Linya, and the others could not live. They absolutely could not live. They were all kind and pure. They were too easily fooled, too easily deceived, and too easily hurt. You could have lived and continued your life, but you chose to court death. Lin Xian's aura condensed again. Then he released the power of spatial imprisonment. At the same realm, Lin Xian should not be able to control her for too long, but the extremely short period of time should be deliberate. Ha ha! Zhao Mingyue laughed out loud and took out a cylindrical object. Lin Xian, I've underestimated you. I was careless this time. We'll meet again. You and everyone around you had better be careful, because there will always be a demon by your side, a demon that you personally created. With that, Zhao Mingyue turned the cylindrical spirit artifact, and her figure was sucked into a certain space. It should be some kind of spatial spirit artifact. Lin Xian's pupil shrank. Then, Zhao Mingyue's figure disappeared, and at the same time her voice sounded. Oh right, I forgot to tell you something. I am now a member of the Evil Fiend Hall. Lin Xian secretly clenched his fists. He had thought of many possibilities, but he did not expect Zhao Mingyue to have a spatial spirit artifact. He failed this time. Lin Xian was lying if he said he was not panicking. He thought that he could safely get rid of Zhao Mingyue this time. But he really did not expect her to have a spatial spirit artifact. Lin Xian secretly clenched his fists. This was bad news. Zhao Mingyue was actually a member of the Evil Fiend Hall. Lin Xian did not understand how these people joined the Evil Fiend Hall. To be honest, Lin Xian had dealt with the Evil Fiend Hall many times from beginning to end. He really did not know what kind of organization it was. Every enemy was the Evil Fiend Hall, which made Lin Xian feel that the Evil Fiend Hall seemed to be outside of people's lives. But there were too many people around him who were members of the Evil Fiend Hall. How big was this organization? How many members are there? Since Zhao Mingyue was a member of the Evil Fiend Hall, it meant that he, Linya, and the others might be in danger. It wasn't just Zhao Mingyue. It might even be the other members of the Evil Fiend Hall. Lin Xian was secretly annoyed. He wondered if he had the ability to kill Zhao Mingyue before she could use her spatial spirit tool. He was wondering if there was a bottom line. He was already going all out. This could be seen from the fact that Lin Xian had directly released the Lightning Thousand Blaze Slash. This was something that couldn't be helped. Zhao Mingyue was able to escape because her spatial spirit tool's spatial power was stronger than Lin Xian's. This didn't mean that Lin Xian's spatial power wasn't strong. It was just that in terms of pure power, her spirit tool was stronger than Lin Xian's mysterious Heaven Realm 3 star. That was why she was able to escape from Lin Xian's spatial shackles. Lin Xian recalled Wan Xia. He didn't know what to do now. Sometimes when there were more people around, there would be more fetters. For example, Zhao Mingyue didn't have any relatives. She could do whatever she wanted. She could even tell Lin Xian that she was a member of the Evil Fiend Hall. To be honest, he was quite envious. Lin Xian sighed slightly, and then left. At least Zhao Mingyue wouldn't attack them for a while. From Lin Xian's perspective, this woman was someone who would find a way out for herself. In other words, every time she took action, regardless of whether she was confident or not, she would find a way out for herself. Only when she had a way out would she attack. And her spatial spirit tool was her way out. However, Lin Xian was very clear about her spatial spirit tool, especially the one she used. It was very rare. With her ability, it was already very exaggerated for her to have one. It was impossible for her to have a second one in a short time. Therefore, it was possible that they would be safe for the time being. Lin Xian wasn't afraid of a direct confrontation. He also wasn't afraid that the enemy would focus all their attention on him. He was really afraid of this kind of existence that was a threat to the people around him. Lin Xian urgently needed something now. Something that could save everyone's lives. He didn't have it. He might have it. He could use the big wheel to draw. However, would he be able to draw it with the big wheel? Not necessarily. But there was one person who might have it. That was Linglong Shui. Lin Xian just happened to be planning to exchange treasures with her. He would give her attribute-increasing potions, and she would give him medicinal pills. Lin Xian didn't want those medicinal pills. In this critical period, he needed them to be safe. However, he needed to discuss the specifics with Linglong Shui. Lu Yufan Yi and the others needed it. Although Yi wasn't Lin Xian's girlfriend, if something happened to Yi, Lin Xian definitely wouldn't sit back and do nothing. He would also be threatened, right? Lin Ya also needed it. Their realms weren't high. As for the others, they probably didn't need it. Their realms were all at the mysterious heaven realm. It was enough. As for Wang Xintong, Lin Xian had just communicated with her on WeChat not long ago. She had also advanced to the mysterious heaven realm. She was training crazily to improve her combat ability. Zhao Mingyue's attribute was fire. If she encountered Wang Xintong might not be a match for Wang Xintong even if she cultivated so hard. Right now, Lin Xian didn't want to think too much. He just wanted to sleep and do what he wanted to do tomorrow. When he returned home, Lingya and Lingying were sitting on the sofa. The two of them were wrapped in a blanket and watching a horror movie with the lights off. It was unknown whether they were too engrossed or too scared, but they didn't even hear Lin Xian open the door. The two girls' eyes were big. At this moment, their big eyes were watching the LCD TV. Their small mouths were slightly open. The two girls' hands were held together under the blanket. They were wearing very revealing clothes. Lin Xian purposely didn't close the door. If he closed the door, they would definitely hear the sound. Then, Lin Xian used Blink Shadow to appear behind the two girls. "Hey, what are you doing?" Lin Xian suddenly said. "Ah!" The two girls couldn't help but scream. Ding! Scaring little big sister, causing her to be frightened. Scumbag value plus 100,000. Lin Xian held back his laughter as he looked at the two girls. "Is there something wrong with you?" Lingying couldn't help but throw her cotton slippers at Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian caught it with one hand. Lingya lightly patted her chest. She was also scared. "Pata!" Lingying then turned on the lights and angrily looked at Lin Xian. "Ha ha ha, two cowards watching a horror movie here. Whose idea was it?" Lin Xian held back his laughter. Go go go. I'm so angry." Lingying angrily glared at Lin Xian. The atmosphere of watching a horror movie was suddenly gone. Moreover, she was scared. She was even laughed at by Lin Xian. "Wah! So annoying." Then Lingying pointed at Lin Xian and said, "Hey, let me tell you, I wasn't scared." Chapter 405. Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh out loud. Lingying was about to go crazy when she saw Lin Xian laughing. "What are you laughing at?" "I'm really not scared." Lingying's face was red as she quickly explained. "Come on. Your voice was even louder than little fairies, and you're still not scared? Doesn't your conscience hurt?" Lingying's face was red. "I'm not looking anymore. I'm so angry. I'm going to wash up." Then, Lingying went to the bathroom. Lin Xian then sat beside Lingya with a smile, and pulled Lingya into his arms. Linya was shocked and quickly escaped from Lin Xian's arms. No, Linya quickly said. Why not? Little Ling will see. Linya tidied her messy hair. Lin Xian grinned. So what if she sees? I'm hugging my little fairy. Then Lin Xian hugged Linya again. Linging walked out and saw this scene, but she didn't think much of it. Hey Lin Xian, let me tell you, you can't take advantage of Linya just because you're her brother. Linging said. Linya then pushed Lin Xian away. I'm going to wash up too. After saying that, Linya ran away as if she was escaping. Linging obviously didn't think much of it. Wasn't it normal for a brother to hug his sister? However, she knew that Lin Xian and Linya weren't biological siblings. And Linya was so beautiful. This guy wouldn't really have improper thoughts about Linya, right? He couldn't be that perverted, right? It was hard to say. Damn pervert. Linging rolled his eyes at Lin Xian. Lin Xian was unhappy. He returned a fierce look and said, How am I a hooligan? Don't slander me. Taking advantage of Sister Linya. Aren't you a hooligan? F***ck. That's my sister, so what? For example, if you had a younger brother, wouldn't you have physical contact with your younger brother? Women. Linging. Get lost. She couldn't out-talk Lin Xian, so she could only say this and walk away. After washing up, they went back to their respective rooms. After all, it was already midnight. Linya didn't plan to go to the company tomorrow. In fact, she didn't need to go to the company every day. But Linya was used to being cautious and conscientious. She was used to taking care of everything herself. In fact, it didn't matter if she didn't need to go to the company. After Lin Xian returned to his room, he lay on his bed and thought about something. About 20 minutes later, he rolled his eyes. Tonight, he needed a lady's embrace to sleep. Then Lin Xian released his space attribute and went directly to Linya's room. The moment he entered, he smelled a faint fragrance. He was really drunk. This was the difference between a man's room and a woman's room. This space attribute was too useful. With the space attribute, Lin Xian felt that committing crimes was easy. He could teleport to the vault in the bank, and then teleport away after he had filled up all the money. F***ck. I'll do this when I run out of money in the future. Linya probably slept too much during the day. At this moment, she was playing with her phone with the lamp on. Then, she paused because she saw a large shadow on the wall from the corner of her eye. That shadow naturally wasn't her. She suddenly recalled the horror movie she had just watched. Linya slowly raised her head. When she saw that it was Lin Xian, Linya heaved a sigh of relief. What are you doing here? Linya reproachfully rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. She was almost scared to death. Eee! Lin Xian flicked his shoes and jumped onto Linya's bed. I can't sleep. I need a lady's hug to sleep. Linya. Linya quickly avoided Lin Xian and said gently, You'll slowly fall asleep when you get back. Also next time, don't enter my room so quietly. It's scary. Linya patted her chest. That won't do. What if Linging hears me opening your door? Then, Lin Xian burrowed into Linya's bed. Stop playing with your phone. Go to sleep. Linya. Little Xian Yu, Linya's face was red. What's there to be shy about? It's not the first time. Lin Xian grinned. That made sense. It wasn't the first time. Moreover, she had done even more embarrassing things. Xiaoying is still in the room next door. It's fine. I'll wake up early tomorrow. Go to sleep. Lin Xian then pulled Linya into the blanket. Then he placed her head on his arm and hugged her. Linya's face was very, very red. But she had to admit that this feeling was very comforting. Does your arm still hurt? Lin Xian and Linya's faces were almost touching. Then he asked gently. Suya shook her head gently. It doesn't hurt much anymore after Fan Fan treated it, little Xian. There must be another reason for my illness, right? Linya was very smart. If she wasn't smart, how could she have built such a big company from scratch? Actually, with Linya's ability, she could have built the company even bigger. But how should she put it? She felt that this was enough. If she built the company even bigger, she would be so busy that she wouldn't have time to accompany Lin Xian. Her current life and the size of the company were just right. Moreover, she could focus on building a better company and make better things. She wouldn't have to deceive everyone in pursuit of lower costs. Lin Xian looked at Linya. He didn't answer her. Instead, he kissed her. Linya didn't expect Lin Xian to suddenly kiss her. She subconsciously struggled a few times before losing herself. So sweet. A few minutes later, Lin Xian licked his lips and smiled at Linya. Linya's face was so red that she didn't dare to look at Lin Xian. She curled up in the blanket and forgot the question she wanted to ask Lin Xian. That topic was over. Let's sleep. Lin Xian didn't want to do anything. He turned off the table lamp and fell asleep with Linya's soft body in his arms. Needless to say, he slept very peacefully with her in his arms. Linya didn't fall asleep. She looked at Lin Xian. Tonight, Lin Xian hugged her with a lot more strength than before. It was as if he was tightly holding on to something. Girls were sensitive. Linya could feel something just from the way Lin Xian hugged her. She could feel that Lin Xian was very tired recently. Moreover, he didn't feel safe. She could feel it. Linya raised her head and put Lin Xian's arm back. Then, she put her slender arm under Lin Xian's head and gently hugged the sleeping Lin Xian in her arms. Lin Xian had been hugging her all this time. Tonight, she would hug him to sleep just like many years ago. Linya knew that she couldn't help Lin Xian. In fact, she felt that she was quite useless. She knew that Lin Xian might be facing a very, very powerful person. She didn't have the ability. The most she could do was help Lin Xian settle things at home. However, did Lin Xian really need that? In fact, Lin Xian didn't need anything. He just needed her to be well. Chapter 406. According to Ling Ying, Lin Xian had saved her life, and to repay the debt of saving her life, letting them stay in her house was a small matter. Moreover, she was bored living alone, so there were 2 empty rooms. It was indeed a perfect explanation, but in reality, in fact, she felt that her relationship with Lin Xian would improve. More importantly, living in the same house as Linya, compared to other girls, she definitely had the most advantage. After all, Linya was Lin Xian's older sister. Ding! Felt Linya's disappointment. Scumbag value plus 10,000. Lin Xian had just gotten up when he heard the system notification. Why was Linya disappointed again? Lin Xian couldn't understand this point. Coming. Breakfast was quite simple. After living with them for a long time, Ling Ying really knew how to make noodles. Most of the time, a bowl of noodles would be enough for a meal. Most importantly, they all liked to eat it. But before this, Ling Ying really didn't eat noodles. It was all because of Lin Xian. Thinking back, it was so easy and comfortable to make noodles without cooking. It was even delicious. Why didn't she think of it before? It was mainly because she didn't know how to make it better. Oh right, little fairy. Remember to come and watch my battle the day after tomorrow. Lin Xian suddenly thought of something and said. He had never shown his strength in front of Linya. To be honest, Linya really didn't know how strong Lin Xian was. She had only heard of Lin Xian's matters outside. Lin Xian really wanted to let Linya see how powerful her little brother was now. Of course, it wasn't that Lin Xian was conceited. He just wanted to let Linya feel that he could be considered outstanding now. Compared to that idiot Lin Xian from before, he was much stronger. And I'll go watch. Linya nodded. She also really wanted to see Lin Xian's battle scene. Even if Lin Xian didn't say that she would definitely go, she would still care about this matter. I'll let you see how powerful I am. Just the girl sitting beside you. I'll beat her until she cries. Ling Ying. I owe my bad temper. Ling Ying rolled up his pajama sleeves. Just be careful. Linya said gently. In her eyes, nothing was more important than Lin Xian's safety. Lin Xian nodded, then looked at Lin Xian to Ling Ying and asked, how many days does the Sky Martial Arts Conference usually ends? It's over in 1 day. A day? So fast. Ling Ying ate a mouthful of noodles and said, what do you think? There aren't many people, mainly the members of the advanced classes of the 3 great academies. Each academy has about 20 to 30 people participating. After all, they know that it's basically impossible to get into the top 10 without reaching the mysterious heaven realm. And if you can't get into the top 10, then there's no meaning. So basically, Even if those below the mysterious heaven realm want to participate, they're powerless. Including some young talents who aren't from the 3 great academies, there should be about 100 people. Ling Ying paused for a moment, then continued. But every year is different. Our batch is actually more powerful than the previous ones. In the past, there were only a dozen or so mysterious heaven realm cultivators. Some of the more powerful 9 stars and 10 stars mysterious body realm cultivators had a chance to enter the top 10. But this time, at least 70% of the participants are in the mysterious heaven realm. Doesn't that mean that the standard of us humans is increasing? Lin Xian's eyes lit up. That's true. For us, the competition is even greater. But for humans, it's also good news. However, the competition isn't that great. Although there are so many mysterious heaven realm cultivators, there are only a few who have a higher realm. And to be honest, there are only a few who are very strong. With your strength, as long as you don't meet me in the top 10, you'll definitely be able to enter the top 10. Ling Ying said faintly. Lin Xian. Wow. Woman, how can your skin be so thick? Is it? Ling Ying's small face slightly reddened. Of course, those words were said deliberately as a joke. Little fairy, don't you think her skin is thick? Isn't she just boasting about how outstanding she is? Linya quietly ate her noodles, then said faintly, All right, you two stop fooling around. Do you want to go shopping after eating? Originally, they had planned to go shopping yesterday afternoon. However, after Lin Xian and Ling Ying returned, something happened to Linya, so this matter was delayed. However, Linya really wanted to go shopping with Lin Xian. Normally, she would go shopping more often than before, but Lin Xian was not with her. Of course we're going. I have nothing to do every day, Ling Ying said decisively. If it was in the past, especially when the Sky Martial Conference was approaching, she would definitely go out to grind monsters. If she could raise 1 star, then she would. But if she could accompany Linya to raise favorability, then she would give up. Lin Xian revealed a very hesitant expression. Linya saw Lin Xian's expression and felt disappointed. If you have something to do, then go do it. Linya looked at Lin Xian and said, Of course it's nothing. I just don't know what to wear later to look more handsome. Lin Xian laughed. Hearing Lin Xian's words, the 2 girls rolled their eyes at him. Linya was also very happy in her heart. She thought that Lin Xian had something to do, and could not go out with them. Actually, Lin Xian wanted to go to Linglong Shue's place after eating. The sooner he obtained their protective talisman, the sooner he could be at ease. However, after thinking about it, he did not mind spending the morning. Moreover, he had promised Linya yesterday that he would go together. No matter what, he had to make up for it this time. Besides, going shopping with 2 beautiful girls, as long as they were not too crazy, it would be a kind of enjoyment, okay? Especially when he felt the envious and jealous gazes of the passers-by. Although Lin Xian looked jealous on the surface, what he meant was that they were his little sisters, and they were not allowed to look at them. In fact, he was very happy in his heart. Sure enough, it was great to go out with beautiful girls. Don't think about it. You won't look handsome in anything. Ling Ying silently retorted. Then, he saw Lin Xian standing there in a daze like an idiot. Hey, what are you thinking about? Ling Ying said again, but Lin Xian still did not respond. Then Ling Ying said to Linya, I guess he's thinking about some hooligan thing again. Linya was helpless. She did not know when this brat became so lecherous. She felt that Ling Ying was right. This Lin Xian must be thinking about something. Wake up. Your little sister ran away with someone else. Ling Ying waved his hand in front of Lin Xian. Then, Lin Xian came back to his senses. Slurp. He subconsciously sucked in the saliva at the corner of his mouth. Then he coughed dryly. I'm used to meditating. It's helpful to improve my strength. You can try it when you have time. Meditate my ass. Ling Ying rolled his eyes. This guy didn't even think of a script when he was lying. He still wanted to explain. Lin Xian secretly glared fiercely at Ling Ying. This girl was the type who was especially obedient and patient, after being taught a lesson. After some time, the scars would heal, and she would forget the pain. Was it because he did not last long enough to teach her a lesson? Chapter 407. Lin Xian had punished Ling Ying too many times. Ling Ying knew it all too well, but she didn't want to admit defeat. What could she do? She was an arrogant woman. There was no doubt about that. So how should she put it? She was unhappy when Lin Xian bullied her. Naturally, she wanted to rebuke him to balance out her feelings. This was very normal. Ling Ying stared back at Lin Xian without any fear. Comparing whose eyes were bigger? She wasn't afraid. All right. Lin Xian was no match for Ling Ying if their eyes were bigger. In the morning, the three of them strolled around the streets. They were all quite happy. They also had lunch outside. After lunch, Lin Xian left first. As for what Ling Ying and Lin Yu were going to do after that, Lin Xian didn't know. But in Tianhua City, with Ling Ying by Lin Yu's side, Lin Yu would be fine no matter what. Lin Xian came to his original home and took out the key to open the door. Cough cough. Lin Xian had just opened the door when he was choked by a smell. Also, it was a little spicy. Damn. What are you guys doing? Lin Xian looked at the situation inside with a dumbfounded expression. What was going on inside? Ling Longxue seemed to be cooking in the kitchen. At the entrance of the kitchen stood Bing Lingyue and Ling Longyue, who looked helpless and helpless. Both of them turned their gazes towards the kitchen. Lin Xian went over and saw that Ling Longxue was actually cooking. But she also seemed to have no meaning in life. And Ling Longxue? She also seemed to have no meaning in life. Why was cooking so difficult? Looking at the black stuff in the pot, she almost couldn't take it anymore. However, he had seen Lin Xian cook the same way before. Ling Longxue turned her head and looked at Lin Xian with an arrogant and embarrassed look. Then she let go of the pot. I don't want to cook anymore. After saying that, she walked away silently. Lin Xian's mouth twitched. This girl was quite interesting. She obviously didn't know how to cook, yet she said she didn't want to cook. Bing Lingyue and Ling Longyue heaved a sigh of relief. Then, Bing Lingyue waved her hand, and the smell in the house disappeared. Why did you guys cook for yourselves? Lin Xian came over with a smile and sat on the sofa. Nothing, we were just doing it for fun. Ling Longxue pretended to be calm as she poured herself a cup of tea and took a sip of it. TSK. Lin Xian had a look of disbelief on his face, which caused Ling Longshue's face to heat up. To be precise, it was lunchtime. They didn't need to eat, but they were really used to eating 3 meals a day. Originally, they wanted to go out to eat, but Ling Longxue suddenly had an idea and wanted to cook for herself. Bing Lingyue was very supportive, but her sister didn't believe it. Cook. Had she done it before? Then it became like this. Bing Lingyue was also an empress, but she didn't know how to cook. But she only knew that when she smelled the smell and saw the thing in the pot, she couldn't swallow it. You really want to learn how to cook? Lin Xian looked at Ling Longxue and asked. In fact, she really wanted to learn. She felt that people who could cook delicious dishes were very powerful. But she stubbornly said, "No, I just casually made it." Maybe it wouldn't be so embarrassing if she said it this way. After all, the things she cooked were indeed embarrassing. Lin Xian, have you eaten? Bing Lingyue asked at this time. Yes, I have. I'm hungry. Little Lolita Ling Longyue touched her stomach and said with grievance. These 2 days at home, she had been disciplined by her sister, so she chose to be obedient for now. Although she was unhappy, her sister was really good at disciplining her. What made her feel even more wronged was that she just wanted to eat a good meal. Why was it so difficult? Of course, they wouldn't feel hungry at this realm, but it was different if they liked to eat good food. They felt uncomfortable if they didn't eat good food after a while. A house of 3 beauties. All 3 of them were his targets. Lin Xian also had a headache. Hearing Ling Longshue's words, she was still a little embarrassed. If she knew, she wouldn't have done it. Coincidentally, Lin Xian was here. She was embarrassed. Come and help me. I'll cook some food for you guys. Lin Xian secretly shook his head. I'll do it. Ling Longxue volunteered, which surprised Lin Xian. Then he thought about it. She wanted to learn cooking, right? Lin Xian then walked into the kitchen, followed by the 3 girls. Wash the pots and pans first. Little Bing Bing, do you know how to cook? Nope, Bing Lingyue said confidently. Lin Xian. All right, I'll do it. Help me wash this pot. The four of them then busied themselves in the kitchen. Needless to say, it was quite a harmonious atmosphere. I say, have you two sisters reconciled? Lin Xian casually chatted with them. Ling Longyue and Lin Xian weren't very close, but Lin Xian had pleaded for her before, and even brought her to eat good food. Anyway, she didn't have any bad feelings towards Lin Xian. Humph. Ling Longyue snorted proudly. Ling Longshui said faintly as she washed the dishes. As long as she's obedient, there won't be any problems. Why should I listen to you? Ling Longyue said unhappily. Lin Xian secretly touched his forehead. It seemed like these two sisters were still the same. One was unhappy, and the other didn't want her to be bad. Actually, Ling Longshui's actions weren't wrong, but she didn't know how to express her feelings. She would only punish Ling Longyue, and Ling Longyue had just reached the rebellious stage. The more she punished Ling Longshui, the more unhappy she was. The more rebellious she was. In this situation, it would be much better if one of them changed. But to make them change, it seemed a little difficult. Because I'm your sister, Ling Longshui said faintly. Although her tone was calm, there was an unquestionable element in it. Her thinking wasn't wrong. She didn't want Ling Longyue to do bad things. Parents weren't around, so it was normal for an elder sister to discipline her younger sister. Che, you were just born a little earlier than me. If I was born at the same time as you, who knows who would be better? Ling Longyue said unhappily. Bing Lingyue rubbed Ling Longyue's hair and said, she's doing it for your own good. Ling Longyue turned her head to the side. But from Bing Lingyue's actions, it seemed like their relationship was pretty good. Lin Xian said at this time, you're the younger sister. It's normal for her to discipline you. Why do you say that? Ling Longyue stared at Lin Xian, but Lin Xian didn't see it. She's your sister. And don't you think you did something wrong? Lin Xian turned to look at Ling Longyue and said. Ling Longyue snorted. She thought that Lin Xian would stand on her side, but she didn't expect him to stand on her sister's side. You're not a good person either, Ling Longyue muttered. Chapter 408. Lin Xian paused for a moment. How am I not a good person? Am I not a good person just because I said something bad about this girl? However, since her favorability did not drop, there was no problem. Since her favorability did not drop, it meant that in her heart, or perhaps subconsciously, she agreed with what he said. He did not understand, and he did not dare to ask. It's done. Ling Longyue threw the pot to the side and ran out to eat her snacks. However, this girl was still alright. Ling Longyue's pot was the hardest to clear. When Lin Xian gave this pot to Ling Longyue, she didn't say anything and quietly went to clear it. She even cleared it quite cleanly. You guys go out, I'll do it. Then Bing Lingyue walked out, leaving Ling Longshui behind. What are you doing? Lin Xian looked at Ling Longshui. Ling Longshui said faintly, helping you. TSK, if you want to learn cooking from me, just say so. Why are you helping me? I'm not, Ling Longshui explained. You're not. Lin Xian smirked. This girl was really arrogant. Then I don't need your help, you can go out. Oh. Then Ling Longshui walked out. Suddenly, Lin Xian realized something. Damn, was there something wrong with him? The girl wanted to stay, but he forced her to leave? F***ck. In about half a hand, Lin Xian had made 3 dishes and a soup. There were 2 pots, so the 2 dishes were cooked together. Half an hour was enough for the rice to be ready. Wow. The 3 girls stared at the delicious food, and Ling Longyue could not help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. She was the same as Ling Longyue. She had never come into contact with these things before. Then, when she came to human society for the first time, she did not remember anything else but the good food in human society. Therefore, there was nothing wrong with saying that girls were basically foodies. Then, the 3 girls ate Lin Xian's dishes with great satisfaction. Lin Xian had already eaten, so he didn't eat. He leaned on the sofa and thought about something. There was one thing that wasn't too good, and that was that Lin Xian really didn't know how to make a good impression with these 3 girls together. Xiao Linglong, there's something I need to discuss with you, Lin Xian suddenly said. Yes, Ling Longshui agreed. Do you have anything that can save your life? You don't have to give me medicinal pills. Just give me something that can save my life. Ling Longshui put down her chopsticks and glanced at Lin Xian. What about your things? Lin Xian then spent 5 million scum man points to exchange for an attribute-increasing potion, and gave it to Ling Longshui. Ling Longshui took the potion in surprise. Ling Longshui and Ling Longshui were eating while staring at the thick and strange item in Ling Longshui's hand. Especially Ling Longyu. Although she didn't get along with Ling Longshui was her benchmark. In her eyes, Ling Longshui was the best. She imitated Ling Longshui in many things. After all, they were sisters. Although they didn't seem to get along, they actually cared about each other a lot. It was because of their personalities that they were like this. But it was still okay. At least they could live together and eat together. This meant that the problem wasn't too big. It just meant that both of them couldn't let go of their persistence. That's it. Ling Longshui looked at Lin Xian in surprise. It didn't seem to be anything special. And it didn't even have a little bit of spiritual energy. Could this thing really make her space attribute complete? She felt like she had been tricked. Yeah, you'll know when you try it. For warriors, because of the existence of the god system, if they had 2 attributes, they could choose to upgrade one of them. For Ling Longshui, she only had the space attribute, so she could upgrade her space attribute directly. Why did Ling Longshui feel uneasy? She felt that this thing was too ordinary. If it could upgrade her space attribute to complete, it should be a treasure that could cause a bloodbath in the continent, right? But she really didn't feel anything special about this thing, other than the fact that it looked a little fancy. Really? Ling Longshui looked at Lin Xian in doubt. Damn, we've already understood each other. You still don't trust me? There's no such thing as absolute trust between people. Ling Longshui mumbled, and then played with the thick item. Okay. If you don't want it, give it to me. Lin Xian stretched out his hand. If I don't give it to you, how can I use it? Lin Xian. Women. Hee. Ling Longshui was still doubtful, but she still had Bing Lingyue and Ling Longyue here. Even if something happened to her, they could protect her. It wasn't that Ling Longshui didn't trust Lin Xian that much, but this thing really didn't seem reliable. But then she thought about it. Didn't Lin Xian take out a treasure that even she thought was strange? Perhaps it really did look so ordinary and mediocre. What is this? Ling Longyue couldn't help but ask. She didn't ask because she wanted it, but because she was worried. Although she didn't like her sister on the surface, she was more worried about her sister than anyone else. In this world, Ling Longshui was her only family. She didn't dare to think about what would happen if something happened to Ling Longshui. She was afraid that she would break down. Ling Longshui said, "It's something that can make my space element perfect." Of course, that's what it says. As for whether it's useful or not, I'll have to try it out to know. How is that possible? Ling Longyue immediately thought that it was impossible. That was because she didn't know Lin Xian well. If she knew a little, she wouldn't have rejected it. She would have only half believed it. Try it out and you'll know. How do I use it? Ling Longshui looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian stretched out his hand and held her slender hand. His other hand rolled up her sleeves, revealing her delicate white arm. This skin is really invincible. Ling Longshui didn't know why. When Lin Xian held her hand, her subconscious didn't take effect. She didn't directly attack Lin Xian, nor did she subconsciously shake off Lin Xian's hand. She was a little surprised that Lin Xian really held her hand. Let go. Ling Longshui didn't say anything, but Ling Longyue couldn't sit still and shouted. Who is her sister? An ordinary human holding her sister's hand? She couldn't take it. See, your sister still cares about you. Lin Xian smiled at Ling Longshui. Who cares about her? Ling Longyue turned her head away and mumbled to herself. Ling Longshui heard Lin Xian's reminder, and her eyes lit up. It seems like it's true. She then said to Ling Longyue, Lin Xian and I are friends. Plus, he's helping me to use it. It's fine. Humph. Chapter 409. Now Ling Longshui's attention was all on the attribute-increasing potion. How do I use it now? Ling Longshui asked Lin Xian again. Lin Xian and Ling Longyu's attention was also on this. Give me your hand. Lin Xian once again held Ling Longshue's slender hand. Of course, he could choose not to hold it, but with such a good opportunity, it would be unreasonable if he didn't take advantage of Ling Longshue. Under normal circumstances, Ling Longshue would definitely not have any physical contact with Lin Xian, but this time was an exception. It was very strange. Logically speaking, no one of the opposite sex should be able to touch her. But why was Lin Xian able to touch her? Most importantly, she didn't feel that kind of repulsion. Was it because she had already treated him as a friend? She could only think so. When Ling Longyu saw Lin Xian holding her sister's hand, she was so angry that her breathing quickened. Her big eyes stared at their hands, as if she wanted to see any signs of Lin Xian taking advantage of her sister. Then she would chop off his arm. On the surface, she looked indifferent, but in reality, this girl was very concerned about her sister. She would even act like this when she saw a man having a little physical contact with her sister. If she knew that Lin Xian had already had sex with her sister, it would be terrible. Lin Xian only knew how to proceed step by step. When it came to a woman like Ling Longshue, he couldn't rush. Now that he was holding her hand, he was already very satisfied. He couldn't reveal any improper thoughts. Girls were all delicate, and if he used a little strength, it would give them a bad feeling. Give me the potion. Lin Xian extended his other hand to Ling Longshue. Ling Longshue passed the attribute increasing potion to Lin Xian, and then Lin Xian directly hit Ling Longshue's fair arm. Ling Longshue frowned slightly. Then, she felt an incomparably pure energy enter her body through her arm. Lin Xian also reluctantly let go of her. Ling Longyu's small mouth opened slightly, because she felt a surge of spatial energy. At this moment, the one who was more shocked was naturally Ling Longshue. She could clearly feel the spatial energy rushing into her body. If she didn't feel it for herself, she wouldn't dare to believe that such a terrifying amount of spatial energy was contained in such an item. Following which Ling Longshue closed her eyes. After which, her delicate body slowly rose into the air and floated in the air to meditate. Her delicate body was surrounded by a powerful energy. The Jin potion fell to the ground. The energy inside had already been absorbed by Ling Longshue. It was already a piece of trash. Lin Xian had just picked up his teacup and drank a mouthful of water. Then, he looked up at Ling Longshue and spat out the tea. Ling Longyu, who was in front of him, reacted quickly. Her spatial energy made all the water float in the air, and then all of it flew into the rubbish bin. What are you doing? Ling Longyu gritted her teeth and stared at Lin Xian. He actually spat on her. If it wasn't for her quick reaction, her face would have been wet from Lin Xian's tea. Sorry, Lin Xian hurriedly said. However, his attention was no longer on this matter. Ding. Peeping at little sister is the ultimate behavior of a scumbag. Scumbag value plus 300,000. Really? Lin Xian didn't do it on purpose. But Ling Longshue flew up. She was wearing a dress. She probably didn't realize anything. Lin Xian swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and then turned his head. However, he seemed to be looking at something from the corner of his eyes. Ding. Still peeping at little sister. Ding. Ling Longyu and Ling Longshue didn't seem to realize this, because they were attracted by the spatial energy around Ling Longshue's delicate body. Ling Longyu looked at her sister, and then looked at Lin Xian who was drinking tea on the sofa. The teacup was at his mouth for a few seconds, but he didn't drink it. What was he looking at? Then, Ling Longyu roughly followed Lin Xian's gaze. Damned lecher. Then, Ling Longyu was enraged, and a terrifying energy rushed towards Lin Xian. Bing Lingyue reacted quickly, and an ice crystal formed in front of Lin Xian, blocking the energy. Lin Xian quickly regained his senses, and a chill ran down his spine. Damn, isn't this little loli too cruel? To think that he gave her lollipops, brought her to eat good food, and even cooked for her. Ding. Ling Longyu's favorability towards you -3. Current favorability 0. Lin Xian. Damn it. Cough cough. I'll go to the balcony to get some fresh air. Then Lin Xian quickly ran away. Don't run, you damn lecher. Ling Longyu didn't give up, and wanted to chase after him. But she was stopped by Bing Lingyue. What's wrong? Bing Lingyue didn't want Ling Longyu to kill Lin Xian, So naturally, she had to stop her. He, he, he. Ling Longyu pointed at Lin Xian, who had run to the balcony, and was so angry that she couldn't speak. He's peeking at Ling Long Shui. Huh. Bing Lingyue looked up, and seemed to have realized something. She secretly shook her head, not knowing why. Logically speaking, she should be angry, but more than that, she felt helpless. It's okay, I can't see anything. Why can't I see anything? I can see everything. Ling Longyu was anxious to death. Let's wait until your sister finishes refining. Humph. Ling Longyu angrily looked at Lin Xian on the balcony, and harumphed. But there was nothing she could do. At this moment, Lin Xian's hand that was holding the teacup trembled slightly, not because he was afraid, but because he was a little anxious. Damn it! This girl seems to be harder to deal with than her sister. Lin Xian was speechless. She was indeed beautiful, exquisite, and shockingly beautiful, but her temper was too big. She would attack at the slightest provocation. Miao Xiaomiao's temper was also bad, but she knew her limits. This Ling Longyu's strength was probably very high, and she was used to staying in the demon race. Anyway, if she was unhappy, she would attack, and if she killed, then so be it. In short, it was a little scary. Sigh. This Ling Long Shui's favorability towards me has reached more than 20. At least I can guarantee that she won't attack me. Moreover, we have had a deep conversation, and she definitely has some special feelings for me. As for little Bing Bing, although she is the Ice Empress, she is more like a little fairy. Because of Xiao Ling Long, not only will she not attack me, she will even protect me like before. But this Xiao Ling Long's favorability towards me is now at 0, which means that she will not hesitate to kill me. Lin Xian scratched his head. It was so difficult to be a man, and this Ling Longyu was also his mission target. He had to take her down no matter what. This was the most awkward thing. Therefore, he needed something very important. At least, he had to ensure that Ling Longyu would not kill him even if she was unhappy with him. That was the least he could do. What a scam. Why didn't he control his eyes? Chapter 410. Inside the house, Ling Longyu was holding an apple and a toothpick. She kept poking the apple as if it was Lin Xian. In this world, only she could go against her sister. No one else could. If she saw him, she would kill him. She would not let him take advantage of her sister. 1 minute later, Ling Longshue's body landed on the floor. She opened her beautiful eyes and a ray of light shot out. How is it? Bing Lingyue looked at Ling Longshue. Ling Longshue revealed an expression of incomparable excitement, surprise and shock. Really? To be able to see such an expression on the face of an expert of her level. Then something extremely important must have happened. Ling Longshue then stretched out her slender hand, and a force gathered in her palm. As a void fox, Ling Longyu was very familiar with this force. Suddenly, she felt it carefully, and then her mouth opened wide. Space element. Great success. Ling Longyu looked at Ling Longshue in disbelief. Ling Longshue nodded. Yes, great success. She was also very shocked. It was really too inconceivable. Such a simple and ordinary thing could actually make her space attribute reach the large success stage. It was simply too exaggerated. Just the space element reaching great success would increase her combat power by at least 10%. You might think that it was just a 10% increase, so what? But is 10% of a 10% increase compared to 10% of a 100 million? No. Moreover, in a sense, there was a huge difference between great accomplishment and great accomplishment. Ling Longshue was also the only one in the history of the Void Fox to reach great success in the space element. Ling Longyue didn't know what she was feeling right now. On one hand, she hated Lin Xian because he was a lecher who took advantage of her sister. On the other hand, she admired him because he was able to make her sister's space attribute reach large success. Didn't that mean that she could also reach large success? So she was very conflicted. Ling Longshue then looked at Lin Xian, who was on the balcony. Ding! Ling Longshue's favorability towards you plus 12. Current favorability 35. When Lin Xian heard the system prompt, he felt a little comforted. He had profited, At least Ling Longshui had profited. 35 points of favorability had increased by more than 10 points. For a woman like Ling Longshui, this was simply too difficult. Ling Longshui walked towards the balcony. Bing Lingyue and Ling Longyue did not follow her. Lin Xian smelled a fragrant wind. He turned his head and saw the picturesque Ling Longshui. For a moment, Ling Longshui didn't know what to say to Lin Xian. Thank you. After a long time, she looked at Lin Xian and said these two words. Lin Xian smiled and looked at her. What are you thanking me for? This is a transaction, so there's no need to thank me. Ling Longshui shook her head and said, a transaction is a transaction, but I still need to thank you. You don't understand what it means to us Void Fox race. What does it mean? Does it mean that you can marry me and be my wife? Lin Xian laughed and teased. Ding. Feeling displeasure from Ling Longyue. Scumbag value plus 10,000. Sister Bing, look at that person. He really has designs on Ling Longshui. Did you hear what he said? Ling Longyue secretly clenched her fist. She really wanted to punch Lin Xian to death. Bing Lingyue said, you don't like a man who has a good relationship with your sister. Then you can't let your sister die alone, right? You too. Otherwise, how are you Void Foxes going to pass down the legacy? But I just hate him. He's too wretched. Ling Longyue said unhappily. He's too wretched and despicable. You hate him, but you still went out to eat with him? Bing Lingyue said with a smile. The relationship between the three of them was quite interesting. Ling Longyue and Ling Longshui didn't have a good relationship. Both of them were very arrogant. However, both of them cared about each other very much. As for Bing Lingyue, she was Ling Longshui's best friend. Both of them really hit it off. Ling Longyue and Bing Lingyue's relationship wasn't bad. Bing Lingyue was more like the middleman between the two of them. She could see through a lot of things. There were some things that Ling Longshui would tell her, and Ling Longyue would also tell her. However, they just wouldn't tell each other. I didn't hate him before, but I really hated him just now. Ling Longyue snorted and said unhappily. Then what if he becomes your sister's partner? Impossible. Ling Longshui wouldn't have such low standards. Bing Lingyue smiled and didn't say anything. When Ling Longshui heard Lin Xian's words, her reaction wasn't too big. If it was before, she might have warned Lin Xian. But now, she was very excited and grateful to Lin Xian. She didn't think that Lin Xian was teasing her. She then said, a long time ago, I heard from my mother. At that time, humans had just appeared, and there was no real human civilization. We Void Foxes were the kings of the continent. At that time, we were at our peak. There were more than 500 of us in total. And there was even a time when human civilization almost disappeared. Then why are you and your sister the only ones left? Lin Xian was very surprised. The Void Foxes, how could beings of this level disappear? I heard Mother mention that there was a catastrophe at that time. More than half of the life on planet Aqua Blue disappeared. The Void Foxes, as the main force to resist the catastrophe, were almost wiped out. There were only a few of them left, and some of them were even on the verge of death. After a few years, only father and mother were left. What kind of catastrophe was so terrifying? Ling Longshui shook her head. I don't know. Mother didn't tell me in detail. It's a mystery. Then what does it have to do with your space element? Ling Longshui said. When my mother and father left, they mentioned that there was a place on planet Aqua Blue that was once the territory of the Heavenly Foxes. There is a secret place that only Void Foxes can open. The only way to open it is to have the power of the Void. The Void? Above space is the Void. The Void Fox cultivates the Void, so it's fine to call itself space. Lin Xian nodded slightly and said, so are you going there? Is there something very important in there? Perhaps, finding that place will allow me to advance to the Heavenly Dao realm in a short period of time. Or perhaps, that place holds the secrets of what happened in the past. Or perhaps, I can find the reason why my parents left. Lin Xian had once heard Ling Longshui mention that her parents had gone off to an unknown location years ago, leaving them behind. Eventually they never returned. The reason why it was confirmed that they had perished was because of the 2 god lamps in their house. When the lamps extinguished, they perished. Chapter 411. For Linglong Shui, this matter was a lifelong burden. She had been searching for a way to improve her spatial attribute for many, many years. Over the years, she had found many powerful natural treasures and experienced many dangers. She had also improved the purity of her spatial attribute. However, how many natural treasures were there in this world? At one point, she even felt that it was basically impossible for her to raise her space attribute to the major success stage. Firstly, her cultivation level was too high. Secondly, her space attribute wasn't an ordinary space attribute. It was the void attribute, a space attribute natural treasure that could raise her space attribute to this level was really too rare. However, she really didn't expect that Lin Xian could actually raise her space attribute to the major success stage with something so simple. Her gratitude towards Lin Xian was indescribable. He had done something that she could not do in 100 years. As for Linglong Shui, the secret behind her parents' mysterious deaths, and the fact that the Void Fox clan was almost exterminated might be hidden in the secret realm of the Void Fox. She had to go, and Lin Xian had fulfilled her wish. Only she understood this gratitude. Ling Longyue also understood it, but her understanding was not as profound as Ling Longshue's. Then are you going to go to your secret realm now? This was not good news. If he went, who knew when Ling Longshui would return? By then, he would not be able to complete his mission. However, Ling Longshue's words made Lin Xian heave a sigh of relief. I don't know where that place is now, so I won't go there for the time being. Lin Xian then smiled and said, when the time comes, can you bring me along? Why do you want to go? Ling Longshue's brows furrowed slightly. No other reason. I just want you to bring me to meet your parents. Ling Longshui did not understand the meaning behind Lin Xian's words. Then she said, we'll talk about it when the time comes. Lin Xian was secretly helpless. This girl did not understand. If she did, she would have gotten the scumbag points. Oh right, there's something I want to discuss with you. Go ahead. Now that Lin Xian meant something different to Ling Longshui, her attitude towards Lin Xian was much better. It's our deal from before. I don't want those pills anymore. Can you give me some life-saving items? Save my life? You have the spatial attribute. Do you still need anything to protect your life? Lin Xian shook his head. It's not me. It's my friends and my sister. Now that there are existences in the outside world that can threaten their safety, I hope to give them some protection. Tell me who she is, and I'll help you kill her. Lin Xian. F***ck. They couldn't afford to offend him. The point is, I also want to but I can't find her. Ling Longshui pondered for a bit, then said, there is, but if their realm isn't high enough, they won't be able to use it, just like the Heaven's Wrath Needle. Isn't there anything that doesn't require a high realm to use? Lin Xian seemed to have thought of something. Ling Longshui was in the virtualized realm. It was easy for her to take out a shocking treasure, but it seemed difficult for her to take out something that could be used by an arcane body realm cultivator. Wow. Ling Longshui thought for a bit, then asked, it's enough to save my life. There's no need to kill the other party, right? Lin Xian nodded. Yes, there's no need to kill the other party. The main thing is to save my life. Then, a few pure white beads that looked like glass balls appeared in Ling Longshue's hand. These are heavenly void pearls. To put it simply, they're some kind of spatial spiritual artifact. You just need to give them these heavenly void pearls. When they're in danger, crush the heavenly void pearls, and the void will send them somewhere. No matter how strong the spatial seal is, it won't be able to stop them, unless it's a spatial seal that surpasses the power of the heavenly void pearls. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. This was good stuff. Somewhere? Lin Xian asked in surprise. I can set up the teleportation location for you. In other words, it's a fixed-point spatial jump. Okay. Lin Xian took the heavenly void pearls. There were exactly 4 of them. Linya, Lu Yufan, and Yi Yi each had one. Lin Xian would consider who to give the last one to. Perhaps he would give it to Wang Xintong. Her cultivation level should be lower than Miao Xiaomiao's. Even if they were in the same cultivation level, her combat power should be lower than Miao Xiaomiao's. At least Miao Xiaomiao had the wind element, which could be used to escape. She only had water and light. She couldn't fight or escape. Thanks, Lin Xian said. On the other side, Ling Longyue's mouth was slightly open. She gave the heavenly void pearls to Lin Xian. Damn it! Is it very powerful? Bing Lingyue asked. Ling Longyue said, it's very powerful. It's so small that it can teleport between the two farthest points on planet Aqua Blue. Every single one of them contains a lot of my energy and power. If it's only a few dozen kilometers, it's a waste, she said with a pained expression. Lin Xian didn't know this. If he knew, he would be shocked too. Teleport between the two farthest points on planet Aqua Blue? How far was that? Planet Aqua Blue was more than 10 times the size of Earth. That meant it could teleport 10 times the diameter of Earth? This was really too exaggerated. Ling Longshui was a void fox in the great virtual realm. How far could she go with a spatial jump? Even if it was very far, it wouldn't be too far. The limit of her power was there. It's very powerful, but compared to Ling Longyue's void attribute, it's nothing, right? Ling Longyue was slightly stunned. Thinking about it, it seemed to be true, but she was still a little unhappy. You might be able to get along well with Lin Xian. He might be able to help you improve your space attribute. Who needs his help? Ling Longyue crossed her arms and snorted proudly. Although she said that, she really did hope that she could improve her space attribute. Where do you want to set the teleport? Ling Longshui asked. Here. How about it? Lin Xian asked. Here. Lin Xian nodded. Sure. This was where Ling Longshui and the rest lived. If they encountered any danger, they would be safe here. Plus, they were familiar with this place. Ling Longshui cast a spell on the spot. Her slender fingers quickly drew some kind of seal in the air. Lin Xian saw something similar to a hexagram spinning in the air. This was drawn by Ling Longshui. Shua! Following that, the hexagram suddenly fell and landed on the ground. Then it slowly lost its luster. Ling Longshui took a deep breath. Actually, it wasn't that easy. This was because the teleport was set to be extremely far away. But it didn't matter. Lin Xian carefully kept the heavenly void pearl. 2 more jade bottles appeared in Ling Longshui's hands. Here. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.